Summon me in.
Let's do this stuff. Hey, this is Team Demon Kitty here. I have Osprey on again. We're gonna be doing more like Pesterquest with the roots that I botched with the editing before. So yeah, let me just quickly share my screen feed out. We figured out how to do this. Let me share screen. Yeah, it's working for you, right?
Oh, yep.
All right, we good?
But it. Yeah, okay, we're good. We're golden. I was actually trying to watch the stream before, but God, is the Discord app like laggy as shit. Or you were lagging a lot, but either way, there was lag. It was a problem.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, we should be good now. All right. So let's do this, and yeah. Okay, we're gonna do Jade's route now. By the way, it cut off at the end of Dave's route before. Like it cut off the "Get That Bread Son" meme. Unfortunately, like the recording cut off, but like we got most of it, so I think it was good.
Well, I mean, if we got to Olive Garden and it just cut off the "Get That Bread Son" meme, everybody's seen the "Get That Bread Son" meme, and if enough people yell at us in YouTube comments to do it again just for that, we can.
It cut off a little bit before that, but it cut off close enough that I don't really want to go back and redo it. So,
well,
just like a summary, what happened is.
So we can actually
just a summary for anybody who missed the last one. Like we, went to Olive Garden with Dave. There was a meme, and it was fun. That's really all you need to know.
We went to Olive Garden and a good time was had by all. Theoretically, we could get back there pretty quickly with fast forwarding, I think.
We could, but I don't know if I want to redo it.
You know what? People in chat, start throwing that at us if there's anybody in chat. Usually there's not, but maybe there will be. So if somebody in chat tells us that they want to see that again, we'll do it like after we've done other shit.
Yeah, like that's we can save that for the end. We can save that for the end.
You know what? Let's wait until we finish. Let's also wait till we finish this, because if the VOD cuts off shit here again, then we'll just have to go back again. So we might as well finish this VOD, and then if people want us to do that again, we'll do it as its own video of like fixing the VOD fuck ups.
Yeah, I think we can get through it this time, just based off of the fact that Tavros' route is very short. But let's see.
We still have to do Jade.
Yeah, we still have to do Jade's, and we still have to do Radia's. That's the other one that I have not done because it cut off. So Jade, Tavros, Radia is what we're doing. I hope you're okay. I hope you're okay for Radia's route. Are you?
I'm fine with Aradia. I mean, I like Aradia. Aradia seems like someone I would enjoy hanging out with, although I would not date Aradia because she is worst girlfriend.
She kind of is, but she's also really cool.
Maybe not. Yeah, no, she'd be fun to hang out with, but she's one of those people where you kind of have to make it super casual. Okay,
yeah.
Am I doing the narration here?
Wait 1 second, I accidentally clicked the wrong thing. Okay. Well, if you want me to do the Jade voice, then yeah, you can do the narration.
Let's start with you doing the narration and see how hard I fail at Jade voice just for a lark, and then we'll swap it off so that it is better. But I feel like it will be entertaining for our audience to see how bad I am at Jade voice.
Yeah. Well, let's try that. Let's try it. It's been days, and your stomach still hasn't recovered from Olive Garden, but you can't spend forever moping around. These are friends to me. They're friends to make. Damn it. Well, just one left is in this set. Her name is Jade Harley, and even though all three of your new pals consider themselves good friends with her, they know strikingly little about her life. That's kind of true. The most you have gleaned is that she lives on a mysterious island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean with her grandfather and some uncommon breed of dog. That's one way to put it. Their communication with her has been limited to internet messages and packages sent to P.O. Box at some podunk town called Haunt Switch. Okay. John said he would message her and see if she could provide an address, but you don't want to wait. Throwing yourself headlong into friendship has always worked for you. Okay then. So you close your eyes, think islandy thoughts, and hope it works. What's an islandy thought? Oh, what is an
Palm
islandy
trees.
thought? I guess palm trees, yeah. I guess. I guess that is one.
Beaches.
Like, I guess that's one.
Pirates and buried treasure.
I guess that's also one, but that might send you to Vriska.
How tragic.
Yeah, that would be a tragedy for you. Neither of us gets to go to our first characters in this.
It's more than just thirst, to be fair.
That's true. That is true. Yeah. Yeah. But something strange happens as you channel your powers. A loud bark echoes somewhere in the distance, and nuclear green energy sparks in the air around you. You catch a split-second glimpse of a massive green sun, and then you hit the ground on your hands and knees. The whole event can't have taken more than a second or two. Doge, you blink and focus your vision. You're inside a room. The floor is smooth and white, and disrupting the monotony of in front of you are some
Monotony.
similarly white paws attached to a lusus. You mean an animal. You slowly stagger up and look him over. It's Doge. Aw.
Big puppy.
Best dog. Good dog, best friend. He's a very large and fluffy dog. His snout held high, a long green tongue hangs from his open mouth as he pants lightly, and the air around him crackles with electricity, making the fur on his back stand on end. Something about him feels so familiar to you. Familiar twice over. His fuzzy and regal form reminds you of a warmth you once knew, but those neon sparks fill your stomach with dread. Well, at the very least, he seems friendly. He leans in and drags his rough tongue along your cheek, leaving it tingling. His tail wags swiftly back and forth, and he keeps nosing at you. He seems fascinated. Aw. Yes. Dog is adorable.
I have known a dog who was like that, very big and very fluffy. He was a husky, but he was like entirely white and massively fluffy, and he thought that I was just the coolest thing ever.
That is adorable. That is really adorable. That's just adorable.
To look at him, he could have been like as big and fluffy as he was. He could have actually been part Arctic wolf.
He could have been. I guess it's true. Yeah, Cluck.
By the way, for anyone watching who has not seen an Arctic wolf, you need to look those up. Go do that. They're massively fluffy and white, and they're like the most huggable looking things ever. They're also the friendliest subspecies of wolf.
They also lay around in like cuddle piles.
Oh yeah, all wolves do that. That's not unique to Arctics. They all just cuddle pile.
True. That's true. That's very true. Okay, you try to do Jade voice.
Back down, boy. Okay, how hard am I failing?
I don't know yet. Let's try like more. It is this friendly demeanor. Oh shit, she has a fucking gun just immediately. She just immediately pulls out a gun.
Jade is the cutest person who has ever pointed a gun at me. Yes, other people have pointed guns at me. It wasn't very cute.
It's okay, we live in America. That's a pretty common thing. But yeah.
This is true. You have technically revealed in which country we live, but yes, we do live in America, and yes, getting guns pointed at you happens all the frickin' time around here.
Yep, because there's more guns than people.
That is literally true and depressing.
Yep. It is. Wait, keep going, what?
I was saying that it is true and depressing. Countries where literally everybody does own a gun because they actually do have think it's like Switzerland that has essentially a civilian like reserve army, so everyone literally has to own a gun.
Well,
the saddest thing about the more guns than people in this country is the kinds of people who usually own the guns.
yeah, that is pretty sad, usually.
Because there is a positive correlation between gun ownership and racism. And I'm pretty sure this is a stream safe for me to make fun of racists.
Yeah, it's a safe stream for that.
I'm pretty sure, given that we've got an LGBTQ-friendly audience, and that they're also homestuck, at least the ones watching now are probably homestuck, they probably don't like racists. That's
Yeah,
just
you can bash
Unless they're
racists
maybe-
on the stream. It's permitted.
Unless maybe they stan Eridan, because, well, we'll talk about Eridan later.
Yeah,
Talk about Eridan when we get to actual trolls.
Eridan's art's actually surprisingly well done in this, but yeah. Yeah. It is this friendly demeanor of his that leaves you shocked when he moves aside, and you find yourself staring down the barrel of a rifle. It is held aloft by a bespectacled young lady with a sensible skirt. He really has no business pointing such a big fucking gun at you.
Bespectacled. Also, that's like a high-powered Winchester hunting rifle. That would really kill you.
I would. She's not fucking around.
Okay, please don't make any sudden moves. I cannot do this. You take this. I'll do the narration.
Alright, you do narration, yeah. Yeah.
I've embarrassed myself enough at this point.
Yeah. Alright, I will take over jading. I've never really shot a living being before, and it would make me very, very sad if I had to start now.
Oh, okay, so this is happening now. Is this Jade? She doesn't sound like Jade. Based on what John told you. She looks more like Gigi. Anyway, or maybe a Lynn? Fuck. I don't know what just went through the reader's mind, but okay. Also, she's got green eyes. Not that all Jade is green.
She does.
In fact, those come in most colors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Again, don't get sidetracked. You slowly raise your hands in surrender and try to put on your most inoffensive expression. You tell her that if she started shooting living beings, you would be pretty sad too. So why doesn't she put down the gun and...
No way! I don't want to shoot you, but you're clearly a dangerous and unpredictable being. I need to make sure I stay safe. My grandpa taught me a lot about gun safety and trigger discipline in case anything bad ever happened to me. What?
Wait, how? He was dead.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh, maybe like because of by example, because he almost killed her when she was a baby. Maybe by example, like, because he was a bad example, so like she learned how not to do it. I guess that might be it. She learned how not.
We'll get to it.
Grandpa Harley like hate video.
I'm doing the Jade route. It's gonna come up.
Yeah, it is. Keep going. So I knew that no good trigger discipline means. I know that good trigger discipline means keeping your finger on the trigger at all times in case you need to blow something to bits.
Oh, fuck. Okay, now I understand what she means by learn from her grandfather, because good trigger discipline actually means you keep your finger outside the trigger guard unless you're immediately about to shoot something.
Yeah. So it's ironic that she doesn't have good discipline.
Why would she? She's lived alone on an island forever. How the fuck would she get good trigger discipline? particularly if the only influences she has are presumably god-awful movies left by her god-awful grandfather.
Yeah, like, I doubt he had good trigger discipline. I doubt he did. Yeah.
Hmm.
Now let me,
I'm going
keep
to
going. What?
Sorry, I was just going to say that Jade is completely precious.
She is. Alright, we keep going. Now let me make things clear to you. I'm a very clever girl, and you won't be able to fool me as easily as you fool the others. It's very obvious to me what you've been doing, and I knew you would eventually show up if I waited long enough. Sure enough, John messaged me not too long ago to let me know you wanted to visit, and so I prepared myself for your arrival. You've come to interfere with our lives, and now I want to know why. So you'd better start talking, okay?
Okay, you say, what does she want to talk about? You're well versed in a variety of eclectic subjects, so you can go on about basically anything. Wrestling, postmodern art, controversial opinions on traditional jurisprudence. Now that's a Terezi thing. Also, to be fair, Jade actually does like electronics, so electric subjects wasn't an unreasonable misreading in this particular case.
No, I don't think it was. But yeah.
But you get the feeling this is an interrogation, and you really have no idea what she's interrogating you over. That Jade face.
She's not putting up with your shit. She's not. That's a very likely story. I can put two and two together pretty easily, you know. You've never showed up in any of my dreams before, and now none of those dreams are coming to pass. Not to mention I don't even see Prospect when I go to sleep anymore. And that can only mean that you derailed the forces of fate. You destroyed John's copy of Suburban, somehow that changed everything. Not only could John not be in the game, none of us could, and none of the meteors hit like they were supposed to. It's like the universe changed its very fabric to bend your evil whims.
Whoa, evil? That's a little harsh. You'll cop to stupid, but evil is way too much.
Stupid is an alignment. I guess stupid is an alignment.
Is now.
It is now, yeah. Don't play dumb with me. What else can motivate you to stop us from fulfilling our destiny as heroes?
Heroes? John and friends are very nice, but they don't exactly strike you as heroes.
That's because you don't know them like I know them. You haven't seen the shrines on Prospect or heard stories from the Queen, or seen them in the clouds growing into brave and strong and wonderful people. And now I'm beginning to suspect that none of those things will ever come those things will never come to pass. John's birthday came and passed without any fanfare, except for him supposedly befriending a strange mailman. And that day the internet was full of people complaining that their beta copies of Spur weren't working. There's a huge scandal with the company. A little while later, I found out that this mailman was talking with Rose and had magical powers. I know a thing or two about magical powers, at least powers which seem to be magical, so you haven't studied their logical sources. But yours are totally different from anything I've ever seen. At first I thought you must be an advanced Dursite agent come to sabotage us, but you definitely aren't from Durs. Maybe a Prospect and double agent? I also consider the weird trolls who keep pestering me, but they've been weirdly quiet lately, and you don't really give me that vibe. And obviously you're not a human.
Whoa, hang on, you are human, right?
She
tilts her head and gives you a little, really? kind of look, and your stomach twists into knots. All of Jade's expressions are completely adorable.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty good expressions, like her sprites are pretty good at this. The more I'm looking...
no, Jade and Rose got like the...
Yeah, they got good ones. They got pretty good ones.
Although I'm sure your favorite is Ultimate Dirk's sprite.
I mean, like, I can't deny that. I can't fucking deny that. Like, I'd be lying if I denied that. I'd be kind of lying, so. The more I look at you, the more I start to think you're like, how do I explain this? Okay, do you know what a furry is? Jade. Oh, okay. That's where we're going with this. I mean, okay.
Wow, okay, that question is more loaded than her gun. Yes?
Oh, okay. Alright, so a lot of artists I follow do your YCH commissions, and you remind me of one of those. Oh, okay. Does that make sense?
You have no idea what a YCH is. You cautiously ask her. Okay,
I like
good,
how
because I don't either.
it says cautiously. Like, it stands for your character here. Basically, an artist will draw a pose or a scenario, but instead of putting an actual character, they'll leave a blank outline like a mannequin. You pay them to put your own character there. And when I look at you, I feel like I'm looking at one of those blank spaces. My intuition doesn't tell me anything about you, and you never showed up in my dreams. You're like my best friend back over here. A complete wild card, something I can't figure out. Which brings me back to my point.
She had almost let her gun drop, and you had almost forgotten she was holding it, but she hefted back up to the pointed at you and steals her gaze.
Well, you're going to tell me why you came here and did what you did. And you're going to help fix it.
That rifle is really starting to bother you. What do you mean, starting?
What should we do?
Yeah, okay, so I would not try to get the gun away from her on the basis that if she's even a foot out of arm's reach, she's gonna blow your head off before you get to her, and that's a high-powered Winchester, and just in general, it's a good idea to cooperate when someone's pointing a gun at you if you have the option.
So stay calm and explain yourself?
Yes, very much yes.
Alright, I will do that.
Alright, pretty much everyone except John has called you on your bullshit thus far, so you may as well give her the full confession. You absolutely did change the course of reality, but it was the result of a genuine fuck-up, not ill intent. It's kind of a long story, but you relate it as best you can. Your strange lack of memory and encounter with a bizarre magical artifact, the way you blundered into John's life and destroyed his mail as a result of your highly relatable social anxiety, the girl listens as you explain what brought you here, and then you offer an apology. You think you have irreversibly altered the very fabric that threads her cosmos together. There's probably no way of putting things back like they were and letting this lady go on her golden dream quest, not of unknown Kadath, or whatever she was blathering about while you were distracted by her very deadly gun. And yes, Jade's dreams and that city are very much a Dream Quest of Unknown Kadath reference for anyone in the audience, by the way.
Yeah, they really are. Like, they're a Dream Quest reference. Obviously. Okay. You sound very sincere and I'd like to believe you. So, I'll take your word for now. Whatever shenanigans you involved yourself in, I trust that you did not intend to cause any problems. Let's put all of this ugly business behind us.
The girl holsters her rifle. How? What the fuck is a rifle holster? And you breathe a long sigh of relief.
Oh, okay. Like, I don't know where, but okay.
Yeah,
Sorry about all that. Wait, what?
Where did you just put that gun?
In her solid axe, I guess.
Presumably.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only place I can think of, so. I guess that's where it went. Sorry about all that. I promise I only had the best intentions.
It's cool, you tell her. You get the distinct feeling you've dealt with much worse.
Probably. Yeah, I'd imagine a space hopper like you has been all sorts of cool and dangerous places. I'm kind of jealous, really. But anyway, we never properly introduced ourselves. My name is Jade, and my dog's name is Becquerel. What's yours?
Huh. You know, you think this is the first time you've ever been asked your name. Ever. You almost forgot you had one. You tell Jade your name.
Huh. That's a very unique sounding name. I like it. Okay, it's just a name. It's just a name. Oh, okay.
You know, can I go off on the slight tangent here?
Yeah?
It can't be very unique, because unique is an absolute, which means completely one of a kind, and as such does not take modifiers. Things are not more or less unique. They are unique or they aren't. The only modifier you can use is truly unique. Or I suppose seemingly unique would work.
Does that mean that Cal is unique because there's only one of him in, like, any given universe at a time?
Yes, Cal is unique, because there's only one of them in any given universe at a time. That would be a good example of unique.
It would be.
1 second. My headset decided to disconnect from the call. Give me a moment.
Okay, alright. Yeah. Yeah. We see if, like, the next dialogue is, like, a Jade thing. Okay. I guess I'll wait. But yeah, like, Jade's route's pretty good. It's, like, slightly longer, but it's
Hang
good.
on. Hang on. Technical difficulties. 1 moment. Do I need to switch headsets? I will switch headsets if I need. 1 second.
Well,
Technical issues, people. I apologize. Alright, is the sound actually working now?
yeah, it's working. It's kind of been working.
Alright, because I'm not hearing super well. 1 moment. Does this headset actually want to turn on? Because, like, I'm not actually getting anything through my headset at all. It's just not willing to connect to the call.
Oh. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Basically, I can't. I can kind of hear you, but my headset is not what's doing the hearing.
Well,
And so you're very, very, like, quiet.
well, is there anything else we can do?
I could try, like, leaving the call and coming back in and seeing it. Oh, hang on. Hang on, I'm gonna try leaving the call and coming back. 1 second.
Alright, that works.
How do I even do that?
Alright, you good?
This headset won't even appear on the call. Hang on. This is actually a legit problem because I can't hear shit.
Alright, we'll be right back after fixing this, you guys.
Oh, now the speaker's working. Never mind.
All right, sorry people, technical difficulties.
we're
My
back.
phone was
We're back.
absolutely
We
refusing to
solved
use
it.
any but a very specific audio output that wouldn't let me hear a goddamn thing.
Yeah. Also, tier 1, I went to the next one because I just wanted to see if it was Jade.
You tell Jade you like her name too, and she beams at you.
thank you. I'm so glad my grandpa gave me this name. It's so pretty and fairly unique and just very likable. Anyway, why don't I yeah, fairly unique thing. Anyway, why don't I show you around? I can give you a tour of the house and we can get to know each other a little better.
Oh, that sounds great. You're an expert on taking tours of other people's houses, which makes sense since you don't exactly have your own house. Jade stares sadly at you.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
No, it's cool. You have magic now, so the trade-off is probably pretty fair.
I mean, guess it is. I guess it is kind of. I guess. Right, well, this is of course my room. As you can see, I have a ton of pretty posters. This is my favorite. It was a gift from Dave, and I love it to pieces, even though it's honestly pretty dumb looking. But that's the point.
She gestures to the poster of Dave's webcomic guys with animal attributes scribbled onto them.
So it's furry, sweet bird, holy Jeff.
Yeah, I guess it is. I'm not sure which of the two posters that could be she means.
I think it's the one next to Squiddles, but I don't know.
Most of the other posters also feature anthropomorphic fauna drawn with significantly more finesse. It all gives you a very furry vibe. Yes, well, Jade is a furry.
Yeah.
What kind of vibe would you expect?
Obviously, Jade is a furry. Like, obviously.
But not in a bad way, you clarify. Her lips twitch in irritation, and it occurs to you that people are probably constantly either clowning on her for liking furry stuff or reassuring her that they aren't about to clown on her for liking furry stuff.
Well, I don't actually dress up in suits or any of that nonsense, but I really love animals, and I think it's fun to imagine what it would be like to be one. Which is why I own so many animal toys. I like man-fur chaps who are very silly but dignified fellows who are part animal and part Victorian era gentle sir. Man-fur chaps.
Jade, you're a dork. You're adorable, but you're a dork.
Yeah. That's pretty accurate. Jade gestures to a pile in the corner. Heaped high of oh, that's you, sorry, I fucked that up.
Heaped high with plushies and dolls of all sorts. Many of them look like man-animal abominations with curly mustaches and others feature bright and puffy squid-like creatures. The squiddles. So, can I question whether the squiddles are to the horror terrors kind of like what Cal is to Caliborn, that like project their influence into every universe where they're present? Because they seem to be everywhere.
I mean, according to the, like, some animations, squiddles are trickster horror terrors, so... They are trickster horror terrors. Like, that is what they are. Oh, and these are my squiddles. They're based off a cartoon show. Rose says it's a bad show, but I don't believe her. I don't believe her.
Jade fishes through the toy pile and retrieves a dark bluish-black toy.
This one is Inkabelle. She's my favorite. In one episode, she gets lost in the murky barn swallows and spends years completely alone, lost without any of her friends. But in the end, her friend Podlight tracks her down and saves her. It seems so bleak the first time I watched it that I literally cried, but I realized at the end it was a very poignant tale.
Jade smiles wistfully down at the plushie in her hand. She glances from it to another one of the Squiddle dolls, and her expression tightens. She squeezes the doll just a little too hard, causing a horrendous pitchy squeak.
Oh my god. Wait, I just realized, isn't the plot for the Squiddle episode kind of what happens to Jade, like, on the ship? in like the new timeline that isn't the game over timeline. She spends like years alone. Like, isn't that kind of what happens?
It kind of is, but eventually she gets to be with her friends again.
That's true.
Though there is her questionable marriage, and she definitely deserved better.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess in retrospect, that was pretty silly though. I mean, it was just a kids show. Of course, there's going to be a happy ending. That's how those always work, right?
Jade's still smiling as she tosses the doll onto her bed, but she puts so much force into it, the throw that it goes careening off the edge with a wheeze. You hear it flop onto the floor and magnetize itself to another squiddle. Its voice box lets out a weak little "yay!"
I don't know why. That's just like...
The squiddle magnetism has always slightly disturbed me.
I mean, why? They're just hugging.
Yeah, sure they are.
I mean, I don't know. Like, it never really bothered me because it just legitimately looks like they're hugging. I don't know. I mean, how else would they hug people?
Well, they're squid, so they wouldn't.
That's the thing.
Jade stands up and brushes off her skirt. Her eyes fall to her bedspread, which features a striking cloud design. She sighs slowly and then assumes a bright smile once more.
Anyway, let's go explore the rest of the house, shall we? I've got so much to show you.
The hell was that animation?
I don't know.
She just phased out the bottom of the screen.
She did, apparently.
Jade hikes up her skirt and skitters down the spiral staircase 2 steps at a time. You're a little interested in the high-tech devices laying on a workbench near her bed and glowing green crystal that you think is literally uranium? But Jade's already gone, so you tear your eyes away and fall out. Yes, it is indeed uranium. Wow! She just appeared from the bottom of the screen again. I'm sorry, but that animation is really weirding me out.
Yeah.
The landing below her room is small and cylindrical, and features only a gray closet-looking device and a platform on the floor. This is literally the same room background. Do they not have the budget to, draw multiple rooms?
I mean, you do see multiple rooms, but I don't know. My room is at the top of a tower, but this transportalizer will take us to the garden quick and easy.
She hops on and disappears in a flash of green light. You're a little nonplussed, but you've seen weirder. Wait, we teleport everywhere. How are we nonplussed by the transportalizer? You step onto the platform, hear a light click beneath your feet, and in an instant you're standing in a lush garden atrium. There are exotic plants as far as the eye can see, ranging from psychedelic floral arrangements to tropical fronds to fruit and vegetables. Tall windows blanket the walls and allow sunlight to stream in. And said windows are coated in steamy mist. You feel like you just got clotheslined by a rainforest.
It's beautiful, right?
Jade opens her arms and spins around, gesturing to her various gardening stations. You nod. It really is. Jade seems like the type who would literally and unironically do the spin around and fall on your back in a meadow type thing. And yes, there are real people who really do that.
Who spin around and fall on their backs in meadows?
Yes, like a fucking anime character.
I mean, I do that.
Real thing.
I mean, if I'm in a meadow, I'll do that. I mean, it's tempting.
I've never even been remotely tempted to do that on the basis that I don't like things that involve landing on the back of my head.
Well, you land a certain way so that, your head doesn't hit the ground exactly, and it's comfortable. There's a certain way that you have to hit the ground, but yeah. But yeah, that is a thing that, I do if there's a meadow. Gardening is another one of my favorite hobbies. It's a great way to get your hands dirty and do some real work. And the end result is always vibrant and beautiful.
Jade waves her rough and calloused hands at you, and then strokes her fingers along the pinkish petal of an anemone and hums, a little tune toward it. One of its leaves seemed to curl towards her touch. When Jade pulls away, she skips towards one of the windows and motions for you to follow her. It's a beautiful island vista that awaits your gaze. To your left is a towering mountain that might just be a volcano, and ahead of you is a small bay filled with giant lily pads and an old mossy temple. Beyond the island, the sea stretches out to a shimmering horizon. Past that boundary line, an entire world awaits, ever out of reach.
This is my home. This entire island belongs to just me and Beck and my grandpa. It's a very peaceful place. The greenery is so lovely and the bay is very fun to take a dip in. There's some mysterious ruins down there too. I've always been very curious about them, but Beck won't let me visit them. I guess he thinks they're too dangerous. Grandpa's been in there plenty of times before, though. Oh my god, that face. That face.
Could her grandfather give her a supervised tour?
I mean, even if he did, it probably wouldn't actually be supervised because he can't supervise anybody.
I was about to say supervised is a very questionable word to use when talking about Grandpa Harley.
I mean, considering a house swap, like, he let his kid, like, he literally, almost accidentally poisoned his kids with mushrooms. Yeah, definitely. Like, yeah. Oh, Grandpa doesn't really move much anymore. He spends all of his time having tea parties in the foyer. Like, the tea parties.
He's quite old then?
You could say that.
Jade wanders away from that window and toward another one, whose view is exclusively centered on the rolling blue. She presses a hand against the misty panes and sighs.
You know, Dave talks a lot about coming to visit me here. I mean, all of my friends do, but Dave especially. In his usual Davey way, of course, which means making a lot of jokes about not sounding very serious about it. Yeah, I'm itching to put on a safari hat and come creeps. Oh, I mean, I was gonna do Jade, like, impersonating Dave, but...
Actually, you do that. That's gonna be... I want to hear how you do that.
How would you Jade impersonating Dave?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm itching to go and put on my safari hat and come traipsing down to Dev Archipelago to get my ass murdered by Infinite Dog and Ultra Retriever. Stuff like that. I know he really means it, though. He really wants to see me, just like I want to see him. But it's just wishful thinking. He doesn't know where this island is. Even I don't know where it is. All deliveries here go through some company P.O. box my grandpa set up before he died. And it's not marked on any maps. Because this is a special island with all kinds of important secrets on it, I guess. Or it was special. I was special. But not anymore! Now I'm just a regular girl stuck alone on this dumb island for the rest of my stupid life.
Whoa. You asked Jade if he's feeling alright.
Yeah, this is like... There's an argument to be made that, like, Spur was better for Jade.
It was. Very much so. Also, Jade, don't fixate too much on Dave. You deserve better. He's actually kind of a loser.
Yeah, he is. He absolutely is. Like... See, the problem is Jade is just, like, too good for everybody, but... Yeah.
I don't know that she's too good for everybody, but...
Dave is kind of a loser, yeah.
She's too good for him.
Yeah, like... my opinion on Dave is kind of, like, weird, but yeah, like, he's a loser, but he's also entertaining, but he is a loser. But yeah. Yes, I'm totally fine. Just peachy, thanks for asking, smiley face. Come on, let's keep up with the tour. There's no time for dilly-dallying. My grandpa's collection rooms are up next. Hopefully it's better the collection rooms in High Swap. The first one is full of his big game hunting trophies. I never shoot an innocent animal, and I think the trophies are pretty hideous. But I do have to admire his great work stuffing them, I guess. It is really hard to properly stuff and mount something, trust me. He has some cooler stuff on the lower floors, like all these badass knight statues. Or these, faded blue portraits of pretty ladies. Okay, I'm going to be honest, most of Grandpa's collection stinks. But I think that what's important is what it all represents to him. He's been on all sorts of incredible, amazing adventures, and he has this huge array of interesting things to show for it.
You tell Jade that her grandfather sounds like a hell of a guy.
He is in a way. Not in a good way. Worst possible version of Jake in existence. It's just wild that Jake is technically, like, it's just fucking wild to me. Like, I mean, it's the worst possible timeline of Jake, I guess. Like, it's like if you took all of Jake's bad qualities and put them into one character and, like, amplified it up to, like, 11. Yeah. He sure is. Back when I was little, he used to go on trips all over the world and come back with so many interesting stories and new souvenirs. I was so odd. I guess a little jealous too. Sometimes he would be gone for days or even weeks at a time, and it would just be me and Beck holding down the fort. Okay.
So, Grandpa Harley died when Jade was probably not more than a year old.
So, like, he literally just let his 1-year-old, like, be alone for, like, weeks with just a dog. Okay. I mean, to be fair, Beck is, like, probably actually took good care of her, but, like, it's quality parenting right there. Like,
I mean, like, Becquerel is intelligent and capable enough that I might consider leaving a kid with him. But probably not.
I mean, to be fair, he's a better babysitter than Mom Milan was, but that's not a very high standard.
It's a very, very low bar. I feel like if I had Becquerel, I'd be like, fetch! And he'd, like, teleport and, like, get me takeout and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, like, it's just like, I don't know. He has a habit of leaving his kids just alone for long periods of time. Like, it's pretty bad. Let me keep going. I was always so happy when he came back, and I listened to his tales without making a single peep. But he never asked me if I wanted to come along for an adventure, no matter how obvious it was that I did. I guess that's just a way of life for adventuring folks. There's no time to be tied down, even by the people you love. They can stay at home and wait for you to come back. That's how it was for my grandpa, at least. What about you? You're an adventurer too. You visited all of my friends, and you've surely been to other awesome spots around the globe. So, I bet you left someone waiting for you too, haven't you?
Frost floods your veins and nestles into your heart with a burning chill for reasons that you don't quite understand. Jade tilts her head and bores into you with wide, curious eyes. One of her hands is balled up into a fist, and both of them are trembling as she watches you. Jade, you are very adorable and very, very, very close to the camera right now. Geez, you're gonna have to coach another kid through parental issues, aren't you? You swallow down your sudden anxiety, force a smile, and remind Jade that you're suffering amnesia.
Oh, right, well, it's just this feeling I get, you know? I have great intuition.
When she smiles, the corner of her mouth twitches. It's now or never. Would she like to talk?
I said I'm fine, there's nothing to talk about. Unless you want to talk about, some of these flowers. Isn't this one such a lovely yellow?
Surely there is nothing wrong with a good old feelings gem, right? Jade's an expressive, empathetic girl. Feelings jam should be her thing. You think that, but she's still steadfastly ignoring you. They're her thing with Rose, not a random teleporting pseudo-mailman.
Yeah. Hey, how about this orange with a goofy face on it? Why don't we boggle at it for a while?
Jade, something's wrong. You need to talk this out. That's what you do. You're a talker, so why don't you two...
Oh my god, just shut up! Please just shut your stupid fucking mouth! Of course something's wrong, and that something is you! Oh shit.
There's a long pause. Jade stands there, her eyes wide, shocked at her own outburst. She wipes tears from her cheek, takes a shaky gulp, and then sprints back up the stairs. Oof, that didn't work. You stand there for a while, feeling like a tender, AAA grade jackass steak with baked douchebag potatoes on the side. No, we'll get to the jackass steak later. Then you sigh and steel yourself and make the trek back up to her room. I wouldn't. Jade seems very, very emotionally distressed right now, and she has a gun. And in my experience, when someone is emotionally overwrought and has a deadly weapon, it's better to just leave them alone.
Yeah, that's usually what you do.
And if my father knew that, he would not be quite so much of an idiot.
I also like how Beck's just like moving slightly. Yeah, should I click it? Yeah.
Yeah. Jade is nowhere to be seen. Beck is pawing clumsily at a large, suspiciously jade-shaped lump beneath the covers of her bed. You clear your throat and ask her softly if she wants to talk. It's cool, you say. You listen to teen drama all the time, and this is some particularly choice drama. Not that you like the drama, you clarify. You just kind of exist in the periphery of it constantly. You're a drama magnet. Technically, drama is an us magnet.
Oh no, she's crying. Oh no.
Must hug the sad Jade, but not actually, because that would be weird for a random stranger to do, but also sad Jade.
It's a sad Jade, oh no. I don't know if she's actually crying. What?
There's a long pause and you're about to turn and leave when she pulls the covers off and turns to you. Her eyes are all puffy and red.
Hey.
Hey?
I'm sorry I yelled at you. It's not really your fault. I mean, it kind of is, but you didn't know you were messing anything up. It's not fair for me to be pissed at you. It's just, none of this is fair at all.
Yeah, that sounds like life, all right. You sit down on the bed and tell her to vent about it. It's okay. You can take it.
Okay. Have you ever spent your whole life waiting for something to happen and then it didn't?
Yes. Well, your memory is pretty fuzzy right now, so you can't say you have. But you think you understood a similar sense of yearning, or understand a similar sense of yearning. But, good God, have you yearned?
Yearning is a good word for it, yeah. Let me try and explain. When I went to sleep, I would see this beautiful golden kingdom called Prospect and hang out with the people there. I'd wake up in these fuzzy, half-remembered feelings of happiness and visions of the future swirling around in my head. It was nice. It was a good life, but there's this very lonely feeling that I couldn't make go away no matter what I did. I would always tell myself, soon, Jade, soon it will all change. You'll get to travel to Prospect in your waking hours, you'll meet your friends in person, you'll finally begin to live, like really live. I waited for days, months, years, for the day to finally arrive, and then it never came. I was so sure that it would come on John's birthday, all of my dreams told me so. All the signs were there, but it just didn't happen. And now, I don't know what to do with myself. I was able to ignore the lonely feeling because I knew that it would disappear one day, but now that day has slipped by and it's like all those gears are catching up and crashing down on me at once, and I feel so small and helpless and sad, like the loneliest girl in the world. I don't want to put all of this on you, that wouldn't be very nice, but it's not fair.
Jade vaults from the bed and stamps her foot on the ground hard. Her face is flushed and streaked with tears and snot. She looks awful, frankly, like someone who's been holding it all in for far too long. Beck gets up and starts licking her cheeks, and she holds him off until she can wipe her face on her sleeve.
Beck is good, dog. Thanks, Beck. At least I've got you for a best friend, right?
Jade settles back under the bed, stroking Beck's fur softly.
I have a lot of complicated feelings about all of this, I guess. So complicated and painful that I'd rather just pretend everything's okay. But now I can't pretend anymore, and these feelings are all that's left. And I hate feeling so glum. I hate sitting around and being all sad and useless. It's stupid and pointless and a waste of my fucking energy, and it's not who I am, and I'm just dumping it all on you. I'm sorry, I really am.
Man, you just completely fucked up this girl's life, and she's apologizing to you. Now you feel like the deliciously 3-layered shithead tiramisu served after that nice meal of steak and potatoes you had earlier. You really want to help Jade. And while you still don't quite get all of this magical moon stuff she's been talking about, you do get how it feels to be lonely. That's something you can help with. You offer her a hand. You want to go see the world? Cue Disney music. She sniffles lightly and shakes her head.
It's not going to work.
Well, there's no way to know unless you give it a try, right? She nods, stands up, and takes her hand. You focus on a familiar destination, John's house. But as you begin to dematerialize, Beck turns to stare at you, and you hear that familiar barking sound in your ears. And when the flash of light subsides, you're standing here in Jade's room, only a few feet from where you started. What?
See, I told you it wouldn't work. Come on, let me show you something.
Jade hops up and shuffles down the staircase, and you follow. She takes you to the teleportation pad in the atrium.
These transportalizers are all powered by thermal energy and use each other as beacons for the sake of an easy, short-range teleportation. But if you hook one of them up to the uranium converter and modify the coordinates specified on the logic board, you can theoretically go anywhere in the world. Which I've tried, see.
She twists the top of the pad with her fingertips and pulls it off and shows you the wiring underneath it. The wiring underneath it looks messy, like someone has made multiple attempts to rewire the circuit.
But when I used it, it only led to the exact same thing that happened just now. Beck used his powers to prevent me from leaving the island. Maybe I got the coordinates wrong and I would have ended up stuck underground or something, but I checked and double-checked my measurements. I think Beck just doesn't want me to leave the island. He wants me to stay somewhere he can keep me safe at all times.
Perhaps he heard his name from above, or perhaps he just has a sixth sense about it, because Beck wanders down the staircase and over to Jade. She gives him a soft stroke behind the ears.
I love him very much, but as long as he's around, I'm stuck here, and because of the changes he made, that is how it will always be. I'm just going to have to get used to it, I guess.
Jade deflates against one of her gardening tables and offers you a wan smile. For a split second, you swear you could see a droopy doggy ears and tail tucked between her legs.
Well, that's a wrong timeline for that.
Depression to this degree simply is not conducive to friendship, and even if it was, you would still feel pretty shitty about it. You should do something to cheer her up.
What should we do?
Well, we could challenge the magical super dog, which sounds like an exceedingly bad idea considering he's a really big dog. And we're a cardboard cutout, not even human, and generally human versus large dog is going to go in the large dog's favor. To say nothing of the fact that he has superpowers. So I say we explore.
Yeah? You present your most finely... Oh, sorry, you go. Sorry, I fucked it up.
You present your most finely honed smile of confidence. You urge Jade to stand. This is no time to mope around. There is plenty of fun to be found without leaving this island. You suggest that perhaps, with your help, you can give her the opportunity to explore the temple she's always been curious about.
Really? That would be super fun. But what about Beck?
Oh, there's nothing to worry about there. You have a genuine plan, you tell her. You tell her that to just head over to the temple and you'll take care of the rest.
Okay, if you say so, but please don't do anything to hurt Beck, okay? I love him to bits.
You wouldn't dream of it. Not on this route, at least. Jade transportalizes downward, and you turn your attention to Beck, who is idly sniffing one of Jade's plants. You advance on him slowly and with intent. You know what must be done.
There's only one option. Pet the dog.
You just get right in there. You pet the hell out of this dog. You employ your strongest pamper techs like the quick scritch up, the mane massage, and the Cuddle Brand X dog smite.
Okay.
Okay, sure.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere in the distance, a bluebird observes your masterful display and chirps happily.
Oh, okay.
But suddenly Beck's head snaps up, and he points his snout in the direction of the temple. Whoa there, buddy. Now is no time to be thinking about Jade. Now is Belly Scritch's time. You start rubbing Beck's stomach, and he flops onto his back with his tail wagging, and his feet curled up. Who's a good boy?
Aw.
Beck looks up at you, and you see the cosmos reflected in his deep, piercing eyes. You understand. He's a good boy. He knows it.
Yes, he's a very good boy.
After a while longer spent threading your fingers through his silky fur, Beck curls up beside you and yawns, starting to nod off. You kiss him on the forehead and then take the opportunity to slowly stand up and exit the room, letting the sleeping dog lie. You're a little worried about alerting Beck by using your powers. He seems to be pretty keyed into that kind of space-time manipulation. You just take the long route to the temple. Jade's Island is a very beautiful place, with rolling hills and lush sun-bathed plains. It looks like an excellent vacation destination, but also so bare. There's nothing and nobody around except for the hollow whispers of the wind. You can see how this place would feel much less like paradise after years spent stranded here. When you reach the lake surrounding the temple, you see the giant lily pads outside have arranged themselves into a walkway that you can use it to reach it. That is a typo.
Phil.
How strange and convenient. My father may be an idiot, but he's also an editor. That's why I know the thing about unique.
Yeah, there's some there's some grammar fills in this.
Then again, I am also an editor occasionally, although of a different kind.
Yeah.
You channel your inner frog and hop across. I am a stylistic editor. In fact, I am the only stylistic editor.
Well,
I invented that job title. It was me.
You
can use it if you owe me 5 cents.
Hey! Up here!
Jade calls down to you. She's at the temple entrance far above your head, waving down at you. Grooves carved into the wall form a ladder. Then you can use to climb up? No.
Okay.
A ladder then you can use to climb up, and soon you are standing beside her at the entrance to the temple. I think they meant that.
Yeah, that's a typo.
That's a typo.
That's a typo.
By the way, stylistic editor is like a 3-way cross between a proofreader, an editor, and a writing coach. Basically, you sit there and explain to people why the thing they said was bad and how they could say it better. That's more or less what you do.
I mean, it makes sense.
A huge, imposing archway marks the ingress between this sunny island and the dark interior of the ruin. From within, you can see a faint yellow-green glow that seems to come from runes carved into the walls. Spooky. Can I just say I disapprove of the use of the word rune to mean things that are not
Yeah.
except in Bloodborne. Because in Bloodborne, they say they're transcriptions of the whispers of the old gods, and runes literally means whispers. So in that case, it was clever, but otherwise it's just annoying.
Yeah.
These would be glyphs, not runes.
Yeah.
As you proceed through the entryway, Jade runs a hand alongside the glowing wall, her face bathed in the sickly green. At the end of the hallway is a large round platform decorated with cloudy designs and a glowing orb at the center. It doesn't pique your inner interior decorator, but Jade seems quite awed by the sight.
This is Skya. I knew this temple had to be connected to that world in some way.
Jade rushes onto the platform and it begins to descend. You quickly follow her before you're left behind. As the elevator takes you down to an expansive and dark room below. I almost said expensive. It would probably be expensive. This temple can't have been cheap to construct.
That's
Much
true.
of it's a great deal of build risk at the very least.
Yeah.
I wish I had the grist to have something like this.
Yeah, it would be good to have the grist to pay for a temple like this.
Sorry, taking a drink. All this narration is hard on the throat. Jade, I am not thirsty for Jade, at least not this version of Jade. Possibly older Jade, but that's older Jade and that's different.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is huggable puppy Jade. I am not thirsty for this Jade. I would absolutely snuggle this Jade all day.
Yeah, like, this is not a Jade that one firsts over, this is a Jade that one just simply hugs.
Yeah, no, this Jade is a puppy, and you would snuggle this Jade.
Yeah.
And don't pretend you wouldn't snuggle this Jade, because and I'm talking to you, audience people, don't even try to pretend you would not snuggle Jade. No one is fooled by you. We see right through you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
A large purple lotus flower rests atop the pedestal in front of the elevator, petals wilted. There is an electronic display built into the pedestal with a timer that could feasibly count down for millions of years, but it seems to be glitched, stuck a few hours away from zero, with the seconds digit constantly ratcheting back and forth between two numbers. Jade places a hand on the pedestal and sighs.
The number is stuck. I think this is some time capsule, but it's malfunctioning for some reason. Was I supposed to open it when the time was right? Now we'll never know. What else could this place be hiding from me?
As if on cue, the elevator platform shudders and begins to rise behind you. As the platform ascends, it becomes clear there is a pit beneath it, which is basically video game logic 101. Jade looks down into it, and you follow suit, and see...
Transportalizers?
There's two of them. One a deep purple and the other a brilliant gold. Jade leaps down into the pit, which is a pretty brave maneuver because it's deep as hell, and real life still has fall damage.
It does.
Yes, but if you're Jade, it doesn't. Jade is just immune to fall damage. I don't know, her skirt acts as a parachute?
Apparently.
Actually, knowing Jade, it literally might. She literally might have designed a skirt to act as a parachute.
Maybe. Maybe.
She grunts and sinks to her knees from the impact, but quickly recovers and rushes over to the golden transportalizer. She examines it for a moment and then clambers on. With a soft click, the pressure plate is depressed and the device surges to life. She disappears in a bright flash of light. Well, shit. You'd better follow her. You hop down and step onto the transportalizer, and the same flash of light consumes your body. Oh, look, a golden sunset city!
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a Dream Quest reference, people. Go read the Dream Quest. Don't post confused comments in the comments section. You feel something like wind whipping around you as your molecules are dematerialized, and then you reassemble in a new locale, a glimmering golden palace. Wow, this place is way too fucking bright. Someone needs to crank the saturation down pronto.
I don't believe it.
Jade is looking around with wide eyes that reflect your golden surroundings.
This is it. This is Prospect, the planet I visited in my dreams. I didn't think it was possible to get here like this. What does it mean? Why am I allowed to be here right now? I should go talk to the Queen.
And with that, she's off, sprinting down the halls with a renewed sense of vigor. You scramble to keep up with her, threading your way through crowds of confused white-shelled folks in fancy outfits that kind of remind you of yourself, but with chitinous bodies. I don't actually know how you say that word in English. I only know that in Greek you pronounce it as chiton, and so that's how I'm pronouncing it.
Well,
I can actually pronounce Greek, by the way.
yeah, I've noticed.
You sidestep a lady carrying a paint can and shuffle down a lengthy golden staircase adorned with regal golden spikes. And you can only barely keep your eyes on Jade's long black hair as it swishes behind her. When you finally catch up, she's in the middle of an argument with two burly fellows in white suits. This is not going to go well for them. She stamps her foot at them, but they're undeterred, blocking her passage further. You carapacian assholes do know she's got a gun, right? Eventually, Jade wheels around to look at you. She tries to soften her expression for your sake, but her face is still sour.
Ugh! The guards won't let me see the Queen. Apparently she's really busy with something. They told me I'm not supposed to be here, that I have to leave right away. This is totally bull. I'm a princess. I swear some of these idiots can't even recognize me if that's a pretty golden dress. Ugh, I guess I'm not getting any answers here either. Let's just get out of here.
I mean, you could try threatening them with the rifle. You were perfectly comfortable doing it earlier.
Yeah.
Why not now?
Yeah, I guess she could. Maybe she left it in her room. I don't know.
Also, they are Prospecians. Do they know what a gun is? Most of them are not very bright.
Yeah, I don't know if they would.
And she's off again, this time striding forward with her fists curled and her jaws set. You glance back at the guards, whose furrowed brows strike you more as worry than ire, and then follow Jade back. You're almost to the exit when you see it, a dark figure silhouetted against the sky's brilliant blue. They're humanoid in shape, with two leathery wings outstretched and inky black tendrils trailing behind.
Yeah,
Crimson force crackles in their wake, and they swoop over the city like a bird of prey. That's worrisome.
It is.
Something about them gives you a major case of the heebie-jeebies. You do a nervous little half jog back to the transportalizer and get the hell out of Dodge. With Jade, wouldn't it be get the hell out of Dog?
It would be.
The temple feels oppressively dark compared to the blinding bright of Prospect. You spend a while blinking as your eyes readjust. The transportalizer you just used flares up red and then crackles. That's probably not a good sign, is it? You do what you do best. Ignore it and climb out of the pit. Jade is standing beside the Lotus contraption, running her hands along one of the pedals with her face set.
What does all of it mean? Was this here all along? Has my grandpa been to Prospect before? If I can go there, then it must still exist. The game must still exist, but how? None of it makes any sense. I need to think about this.
You follow Jade slowly back to her house as she mumbles to herself, brows furrowed. You can barely catch what she's saying, but she's clearly thinking hard.
clouds have never been wrong before. Is it too early? Was this meant to happen?
Once you reach the atrium, Jade lets out a sharp breath and nods her head, resolute. He turns to you.
Alright, I think I understand. I know what's going on now.
Great. You offer her a most winning smile. What's the sitch?
Well, the truth is, I was always being very immature about the idea of being a hero and having a destiny. Life isn't like a kid's cartoons after all. Heroism isn't all rainbows and sunshine, and it's childish to think that everyone gets a happy ending. That kind of storybook stuff doesn't really exist. To be a real hero, you have to be prepared to suffer horribly. It makes sense when you think about it. If everything came easy, there wouldn't actually be anything heroic about it. Why else would my grandpa have put me on this island? Why else would Beck want to keep me safe? Here, even now everything's changed. It's because it's my destiny. I have to prove that I'm willing to suffer and willing to sacrifice. That has to be it. This can't all have been for nothing, right? That's not the way the world works. Everything has a purpose, even if it's not clear at first. Seeing Prospect in the flesh reminded me of that. My purpose is to do what I've always done, what my grandpa and Beck have helped me prepare for. I know it'll be really lonely, but in the end it means that everything will continue to play out the way it was meant to. It's a very noble job, and I've got to be the one to do it.
You're at a loss for words. This really doesn't feel like the right takeaway from all this, but you don't know jack about Spurb or Destiny or any of that nonsense, so who are you to say otherwise?
So thank you for helping me visit Prospect. I would have figured this all out if not for you, and I'm sure that meeting me is one step along the way towards your mysterious fate as well. I'll be rooting for you.
Jade erupts into a broad, beaming smile. It might be the first completely genuine smile you've seen from her this entire time, but that doesn't make you feel any better about it.
Also, sorry everyone, I keep sniffling. I think my nose is running a little bit, but yeah.
In fact, it's more of a knife twisting in your gut, and when she throws her arms around you and hugs you tight, the knife pushes deeper to the bone.
Well, you probably have more important stuff to do than keep hanging out with me. I'll let you go back to it.
Jade turns around and heads for the staircase, leaving you to stare at her retreating form. Is this it? Will you accept the new destiny you've written for Jade and allow her to stay trapped here on this island?
What do we do?
Do not accept. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
Some people might take this as a lesson in the responsible use of reality-altering powers. Some people might swear off manipulating canon entirely, but not you. Well, realistically speaking, if we've already fucked everything up,
You might as well keep doing
it's our job to fix it. That's the thing about power. You can't just say, I'll never use my powers again because I fucked things up with them. You say, I fucked things up, now I make it right. That's what a real hero does.
Yeah, that is.
Like, you can't just say, well, I did bad, so I'm not going to try anymore. You say, I did bad, now I'm going to do good.
Yeah, that's what you do.
What's the point of having sick-ass powers at all if you never use them? See, this guy gets it.
Yeah.
Maybe some god is going to punish you for the way you've been fucking with the universe, but right now you don't care. This girl would burn herself to ashes to keep her friends warm. The least you can do is risk the flames for her sake. This is true. Jade would do that. Jade is kind of a badass, actually.
It is.
You quickly sprint up the stairs.
Oh, you're not leaving. Don't you have places to be? I'll be fine here alone, I promise. It's my duty. I'll get used to it eventually.
You can't imagine she's okay with that, no matter what she says. Does she really want to stay alone for the rest of her life?
Well, of course not, but what I want to do is explore the world and hang out with all my pals. But it's not about what I want. It's about doing what has to be done. That's what it's always been about for me.
Well, that's bullshit.
Huh?
Maybe Jade's fate dictates she never play the game. She wanted to play. Maybe heroes don't get a happy ending, but that doesn't mean heroes can't be happy. There comes a time in every young woman's life, you tell Jade, where she can't leave home because her pet is an overprotective god.
Oh, okay.
There does?
Apparently there does.
I mean, I've never been a young girl, so maybe I just missed that part.
Oh,
Jade has
okay.
the same opinion that we do.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's obviously not true. But there comes a time in many young women's lives where circumstances beyond their control leave them without an escape. I believe that. Perhaps it is easier to believe that the escape will never come, but you can't let Jade do that. When life has you stuck, at home perhaps, you can still hold on to hope. You can fight. No matter how long you have to wait, you can keep looking for another chance to see the world. And if the universe tells you to sit, stay, and roll over, you look the universe dead in the eyes and ask, who do you think is the master around here? And then you tell it to motherfucking heal.
Yeah. You're right. Even now, I was still being childish. It was easier to tell myself to be miserable for a noble cause instead of holding on to hope and maybe getting hurt again. But I have to have hope. That's who I am. I'm a hoper, not a moper. I'll keep trying to convince Beck that it'll be safe for me to leave the island. Things have changed and maybe he doesn't realize it yet. He's kind of a silly, dumb dog at times, but he loves me and I love him and we can work it out. Maybe it'll take a while, but I'll definitely figure things out. And while I wait, you'll come visit me sometimes, won't you?
Of course you will. You are not in the habit of abandoning your friends. The idea is unthinkable. You promised Jade you will come visit her. Come visit? Come visit? A light bulb goes off in your head, and one of those cool LED bulbs, the kind that syncs up to your phone and changes color and spies on you for the government.
Oh, okay.
They probably do.
They do? I didn't think they did.
Don't know if well, actually, it's probably not the LED bulbs. Your phone definitely spies on you, possibly not for the government, but definitely for Google, Facebook, and other large services. Yes, they definitely spy. Your phone definitely spies on you.
Yeah, it does.
100% those services do audio surveillance. There is a reason why when you talk about a thing on the phone, YouTube will recommend you videos about that thing the next day. There's a reason why Facebook recommends you things that you've been talking about, and it's because they are listening.
Yep, they will. Alright, party time.
You ask Jade if she's ever had a slumber party.
A slumber party? No, I've never had one. It sounds exciting, but, is it really a party if there's just two people and a dog? It sounds more like a mild slumber hangout.
Don't worry about it, you tell her. Just start getting the place ready for a bash. Pull out the sleeping bag, conjure up some lightly irradiated snacks, pump up the fresh jams, etc., etc. Hello, fellow kids!
I don't know if we even have sleeping bags, but okay. I'll see what I can do. Maybe there's something useful in my grandpa's old supplies.
You shoot her a confident salute and then dissolve into the ether of canon. You know, considering that he was an adventurer, he must have at least one sleeping bag, and there's enough plushies lying around and probably some spare blankets that I'm sure you can make something work.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you could. I'm pretty sure that's true.
Oh god, that poster again. I could have gone the rest of my life without seeing that.
Oh god, Mac and Me is so fucking cursed. It's so cursed.
That may be one of the most cursed things I've ever encountered on the internet. And I've encountered things that are literally cursed.
I mean, I don't know, that picture of Tavros that got removed from the internet a few years ago is more cursed, but
Well, that was literally, you never actually showed me that, and I'm not even entirely sure that I wanted to see it, Because apparently it was so cursed, the internet rejected it. That's how cursed it was.
Yeah, I'm not gonna describe what was in it, but
I think we would like be partnered or something if we did that. Not that we're actually partnered.
yeah. Yeah, it's yeah. Alright, we should
Take
probably...
our word for it that it was cursed. Alright,
Yeah.
Egbert, up and at 'em. It's party time. John yelps and tumbles out of his chair, crashing to the ground in an undignified heap. It looks like he was in the middle of debugging some code on his computer when you interrupted him. Well, you know what? John was bad at programming, so you haven't missed anything.
Yeah.
I love that expression. He disentangles his limbs and stands to the ground.
That is a good expression. Okay, Magic Mailman, way to get things straight. Your powers are extremely cool, but using them like that is kind of lame. Jump scares rank very low on the prank scale. They don't take any effort, they're just sort of mean and annoying. They really are, honestly. I kind of agree with John on that. Like, I legitimately agree with him.
You apologize for scaring John. You're just in a very excited mood right now, because it's time for, mother fucking slumber party.
Oh, cool. I've never been to a slumber party before. Who's it with?
You grin. Don't you already know who with, John?
The American Association of Mailmen?
You give him a blank stare. Yeah, that's about my response, too.
Oh, right. Probably my other friends. That one should have been obvious.
There you go, John. You tell him to pack up whatever supplies he thinks he should bring, and then get ready for another whirlwind ride through space-time.
I don't know. I should probably do the responsible thing and let my dad know I'm going on a trip, even if I'll be back soon.
Okay, that's fine, you tell him, but don't take too much time. This route's already getting pretty long.
Cool. Okay, what should I bring? Oh, I need to grab some movies, definitely. Dave will be there, right? I should bring the I don't know how to pronounce that. McConaughey. McConaughey?
Oh, McConaughey. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Matthew
McConaughey.
McConaughey.
McConaughey. Okay,
He's an
yeah.
actor.
I should bring some McConaughey movies, so he realizes I was right all along about Matthew's stellar acting. It is Matthew McConaughey. I don't know why I didn't get that. Oh, and of course some snacks. This is a great time for me to unload all the excess birthday cakes my dad made me. Seriously, there are hundreds of them in the fridge. It is highly ridiculous.
Dares to fetch a bounty of cake. Talk to his dad and do all his other preparations. Leaving us alone with that poster staring into our souls.
It's worse when you know what that thing actually looks like the poster's a nerfed version of it.
Yeah, trust us.
You can look at our Twitter if you want to see like an actual picture of it, because like I posted one last night, but like it's pretty bad.
But also
just a warning.
Don't, because
also
it's
don't.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Also don't.
I wondered what it would look like if someone fused together Yoda and E.T. in a nightmare-inducing combination.
Oh god. Yeah.
Continue not wondering, because it will be better for you.
Yeah. Okay, are you ready?
It takes forever. You're not really sure what he's doing down there. You think he might be walking around examining all the objects in his home in great detail and solving a bunch of puzzles?
It's probably true.
Come on, John. This not the right genre of game. Get your shit together.
Okay, ready.
Alright, step 2 is to get Rose. You take John's hand and zap the two of you into Rose's mansion. John spends a while goggling at the giant statue of Zazarpan, the learned.
The learned.
Then you ascend the staircase toward Rose's room and knock on the door. Her voice comes from within, slightly muffled.
Should I do Rose voice, or do you wanna, or...
I can Rose voice.
Okay.
You're home early. I've been hearing strange noises from the neighborhood lab of late. Have you... Or neighboring lab, sorry, from the neighboring lab of late. Have you... Rose opens the door and freezes. John? Her eyes widen and she slowly steps backwards, which John takes an invitation to stride into her room. Her cheeks darken as she scans the room, eyes flickering from mess to mess.
Surprise, Rose! We're here to steal you away like the owl who kidnaps Harry Potter.
I don't think that's actually what happens in Harry
No.
Potter. It's been a while, though. Also, J.K. Rowling is a lunatic and a piece of shit.
Yeah, also fuck J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, we're
But-
gonna mispronounce it as Rowling from now on. We're not even gonna try and say it Rowling correctly because we're that hard.
Wait, it is Rowling? I thought it was Rowling.
No.
Okay. Well, I'm still gonna pronounce it like that because I don't like her, so. Also, I suck at pronouncing it.
That's not... She sighs and turns to that Rose face.
Yeah.
Care to explain the sudden intrusion? It is normally considered polite to call ahead, especially when one is possessed of reality-bending powers.
Yeah. Oh, don't be melodramatic. There's probably nothing too embarrassing in this room.
John furrows his brows as he glances around the room, eyes sweeping over the walls. He eventually settles on some pictures that have been hung up.
I mean, look at these great drawings. Did you do those? That is so cool. I didn't know you drew stuff.
Rose gives him the smile of a girl whose soul has just shriveled into a blackened husk. Again, an explanation would be nice. You explain that you've come to collect Jade's friends for a slumber party. I see. The commercial and critical failure of Spurb must have impacted her more strongly than I anticipated. She was really looking forward to playing that game with us. Yeah, that's putting it lightly, probably. I would hate to disappoint her further. Consider this my RS. Rose gives you a curt nod and then turns to frown at John, who is poking around under her bed. Something tugs at the corner of her mouth. John? My mother is busy and will not be expected to return for a while. Why don't you and our strange friend go analyze her room instead? I need time to pack.
Oh, okay, Rose, whatever you say.
I suspect Rose has a great many things in her room that are private.
Yeah.
Rose shoves you out of the room with more strength than you expected from a 13-year-old girl and shuts the door hard. Oh, yeah. Rose is also, like, unreasonably badass. This is something that should not be forgotten, and I feel like people forget it far too often.
Yeah, she really is. Man, I hope Rose realizes I was being serious while I said her drawings were good. We tease each other a lot, but she's really cool.
John's speaking loudly enough that Rose can almost certainly hear him from the other side of the door. You think he knows that, but you don't say anything except to casually suggest that you and John go wait downstairs and admire all the ridiculous wizard art. He agrees.
God, this house is so weird. Who needs a giant statue of a wizard? Where'd they even get this? Oh, and speaking of weird, I didn't want to bring this up with Rose in case it's just a funny story I'm not in on, but what's if all her writing on her...
But John trails off as Rose descends the stairs with a neatly packed bag. Shall we? We shall, you say. With a hand on each of their shoulders, you close your eyes and concentrate on the Strider apartment. You're aiming for the hallway outside the front door, but this tower is still taking some getting used to, so you instead pop into existence right on top of Dave's bed. He's tapping away at something on his computer, and as soon as you appear, his entire body tenses up. You've barely had a moment to react before Dave wheels around in his chair and flings a handful of shurikens at you. They probably are not actually shurikens, because we use that word wrong. One of them grazes Rose's cheek so closely a strand of pale hair flutters to the ground. That face is also somewhat cursed, by the way. I mean the one that Dave is making.
Yeah, somewhat. Not as cursed as the other face, but like...
Yeah, it's still kind of cursed.
The other face is really cursed, so like that could be used as a reaction image to certain things.
That face is possibly the most cursed image in this entire game. Also, can we be really thankful that at least it wasn't Tavros making that face?
Yeah.
And now that I've mentioned that, you are going to see that in your nightmares.
I mean, it just seems like a face Tavros would make, so it doesn't really bother me that much.
It's true.
But yeah. Okay, you read it?
She turns to look at the weapon embedded in the wall and runs a finger along the edge of the blade, squinting. Oh, Jesus, shit. What the fuck, man? Surprise? Okay, rule 1 of time travel or dimension hopping, don't fucking pull this kind of shit. I mean, seriously. Under any other circumstances, I'd be shitting my fucking nuts off about the opportunity to chill with my best bro. But dude, you can't just drop Guy's besties in the middle of his room out of nowhere like this. This is an extreme social faux pas. You gotta give a guy some time to prepare. Don't be melodramatic, Dave. I assure you, there is nothing present in this room that can make us think lesser of you. Yeah, well, that's a low bar. If Rose was scared by that near-death experience just now, she doesn't show it. She hops off her bed and glances around. It's not a near-death experience. The chances of shuriken the chances of a throwing star, which is what most people mistakenly call a shuriken, killing you, are extremely low.
Yeah.
They don't have enough mass and the blade isn't long enough. They could take an eye out, and I guess if they hit you in the throat, it might kill you. Mostly, though, they just hurt and, would only really be dangerous if they're poisoned, which is why they usually work.
Yeah.
Also, shuriken is a needle-like thing, like a spike, not a star.
Yeah, I figured.
Try carrying a throwing star around with you on your person anywhere. See how it goes for you. / don't. Just don't do it. It's bad advice, and I did not. Neither Osprey nor Team Demon Kitty assumes any liability for any dumb injuries your dumbass may sustain by actually attempting to carry throwing stars on your person, nor any legal liability for any
please
legal.
do not do it.
Don't do it. It's a bad idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you left any pornography out, it will only serve to confirm the hypothesis I have already made.
What is this hypothesis? What is this hypothesis?
I'm also curious.
What? But what is this?
Rose's psychological analysis is not actually very deep. She's read Freud and has read the DSM and is good at potentially regurgitating stuff from them, but actually the DSM is not that useful.
But what is her hypothesis? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Dude, are those selfies? Are you going to are you doing the duck face in this one? Oh man. Oh my god. The cringe. Okay, I don't really like cringe culture, but Dave, oh my god, don't, please The duck face. Oh my god. Oh my
Oh, for
god.
fuck's sake, John. You get a VIP all access backstage pass. The first thing you do is insult my stuff. Like some rowdy tool at the Nickelback concert rummaging through their closet instead of doing the musical world a favor and assassinating them.
The sad thing is I unironically like Nickelback. That's the saddest thing. I unironically like Nickelback.
Why?
I mean, they have some decent songs. Like,
Which
they do.
one?
If everyone
Which
cared.
song? Name one. If everyone cared, really?
I mean, that's just naming one.
I would have gone for, like, whichever one is the one about living every day like it's going to be your last. That's the only good one I can think of that's actually kind of good. And I'm being very generous with the word good right now.
Like, they have a few good songs. They have a few
All
good
right,
ones.
everybody make fun of Heron in the comments for unironically liking Nickelback.
I will accept my fate as unironically liking Nickelback. Well, yeah. You would do the same, dude.
Touche. You know, I bet he didn't pronounce that correctly and actually pronounced it as Tooch.
He probably
Which
did. Because Dave is
which-
like me, he just mispronounces everything. Like,
Also,
I hate the fact that I have to compare myself to Dave, but I do.
well, you know, you've been keeping bad company. And that's a Five Finger Death Punch song.
What?
Not Nickelback.
Oh,
Five
okay.
Finger Death Punch is better than Nickelback. Fight me. Not that they're good either, but like better. Also, Tooch was the voice actor who most famously voice acted Dave for Ask Dave's Voice and everything.
Oh. I did not know that. Well, okay.
Yeah, Mike Tooch. I think it would actually have
Okay.
been like Tookie or something is the actual name. But
I mean, I've seen the video,
whatever.
I just forgot who it was by. But yeah.
But anyway, aside from getting your grubby hands all over my pristine collection of cool swords, your swords suck, Dave.
They
Trust
do.
me, I have owned and broken at least as many crappy anime swords as Dave has, and I also owned an original of the sword. Well, okay, mine was a wakizashi size, but aside from that, the same type of sword that was the image artifact used for Bro/Dark Sword, in fact.
Like, our bro's sword's good.
Well, depends. That's also a piece of crap wall hanger sword, but it's an indestructible piece of crap wall hanger sword. It's indestructible mostly because it's massively overbuilt and way too heavy to be practical.
Yeah.
What the hell are you all doing here?
We're having a slumber party. Are you in?
Oh. I don't know. Bro is basically always keeping tabs on me. Guy wants me to be safe, you know? Or rather, wants me to be only in the right kind of danger to teach me lessons about irony and being dope-ass fucking ninja master.
I mean, it's true.
That is a correct assessment. He wants Dave to be, like, hyper aware of his surroundings because an attack could be coming at any time, but doesn't want him to actually get hurt. And actually, this is a good place to point this out. If Bro were not careful in their sparring matches, Dave would be very, very dead.
Oh
It's
yeah,
really
no
easy
question. I mean, that's not even a question. He would be. Yeah.
It's really easy for a full-grown man, particularly one who is built the way... Like, we've seen how Bro's built. He's strong.
He's a twonk, yes.
Someone that build could really easily injure a 13-year-old, and that's not counting the fact that they're sparring with sharp swords. If you're sparring with sharp swords and you're not wearing protection, you need to really actively try to not kill somebody. And Bro very specifically hit Dave with the back of his sword, Minawachi, as they say in Japanese, not the sharp edge. So yeah, no, Bro. You can say what you want about Bro as a parent, but he is not trying to hurt
I'm
Dave.
kind of wishy now that
very
you collabed with me for
nice.
Hive Swap because there's the sword guy, but like, yeah.
The one who temporarily got called Troll Ben Shapiro.
Yes.
Apparently being weeb as fuck is just a thing you can do on Alternia, and you know what? I'm here for it. Because I'm also weeb
I'm
as
here for it too. Yeah. Okay, let's click.
It's all some pretty intense supervision is the point being made here. Was already getting some rank vibes from him after that little jaunt over to Olive Garden.
Well...
Also, everybody make fun of Dave in the comments for unironically liking Olive Garden.
Yeah, like, that's worse than liking Nickelback, arguably. Because Nickelback can't give you food poisoning.
This is true, and I will admit to having listened to Nickelback during my teenage years, because I was that terrible.
But yeah.
Actually, the vibes have been off ever since John's B-Day, if I'm being honest. So, I don't know how he'd feel about me gallivanting off on some magic snooze adventure with Slappy the time-traveling mailman. You know what? That's our name now. Our name is Slappy. Slappy the time-traveling mailman.
We are Slappy the time-traveling mailman. That is us.
Seems like the kind of thing he'd take issue with.
Oh, come on. He can't be that bad. What kind of guy would let his brother go hang out with his friends?
Yeah, I guess. Be a pretty shitty kind of guy if he did that. Wouldn't he? Dave stares off in the middle distance for a while. Rose observes him intently.
Look, Dave, I don't think I'd feel right if we all had a big party and you weren't there. Jade would really miss you.
As would we.
Yeah.
Dave glances furtively around the room, as if he's expecting a camera to blink at him from up in one of the corners. All right, I'm in. Let me just grab some stuff. Some supplies, I guess? That's supplies for sure.
Some sops.
By the way, in case you're wondering where my Dave voice comes from, yes, I am actually channeling Tooch. I'm toning down the southern accent because, again, he wouldn't actually have one, but... Hey, mailman, what's Jade's hell dog like? Do I need to bring, one of these cool-ass swords? Your swords are not gonna...
Oh my god, even John does it. John's face. Cool. Even John's like not having that. Even John knows that these aren't good swords. Like even he knows that they aren't.
Bearing in mind that I am sharing the room with two swords, both of them better than any Dave has ever owned.
I probably have a sword better than the one that Dave owns, and I have a really shitty one, so, I mean...
Yeah, I can also guarantee that both of my swords are better than any that you have ever owned.
Well,
then
I
again,
only have
one,
and it's pretty shitty and completely for decorative purposes, so yes.
Well, also, one of my swords is actually, aside from the handle kind of being crap, a really, really good sword. So...
Yeah.
You know, not a katana, interestingly enough. It's not Japanese, it's a Chinese sword.
Yeah, even John is, like, not having this shit.
When John is criticizing your sword...
Oh my god, oh, damn! These swords are, like, $5 Chinatown swords, aren't they? Oh, damn! Fucking... Does Dave need some, like, ice for that burn? Does he?
Believe me, the swords in Chinatown
damn.
don't cost $5.
What?
Depressingly, swords like that, even in Chinatown, don't actually cost $5.
No, they cost
crappy
like
swords
$10. They cost like $10. But like, yeah, when John fucking says that, it's just like,
What? No. Okay, listen. Well, Dave grabs his stuff and John heckles him affectionately. Rose's attention has been drawn back to the shuriken Dave threw at her. You stroll over and ask her what's up. She responds with her own question. Have you been introduced to Dave's brother? Not yet. You've heard a lot about him, though. For the sake of diplomacy, you only briefly touch on the opinion you formed. He certainly seems like a fascinating man, the kind of individual whose brain I would love to pick apart, to find out just what twisted mechanics fire off within its chambers. Oh yeah, by the way, we should, an oft-forgotten fact, Rose actually likes Bro.
yeah,
This is something that I think the fandom does not acknowledge. Rose actually legit thinks Bro is kind of cool.
yeah, she does.
Which is one of the many reasons why I say I really wish that Rose had been raised by Bro.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, she'd at least, like, yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So that's what she's thinking about. Dave's Bro? Rose chews on her bottom lip. Not exactly, but an adjacent topic. I'm mulling over the ethical quandaries presented by the existence of powers, esoteric. That was phrasing esoteric, Rose. What? It's nothing to concern yourself with yet. We have a party to attend, apparently. Right, Dave is done packing up. You open both palms and suggest that everyone hold hands so you can best channel your powers. Really? I knew Dave was going to make a comment like this.
Yeah, I knew he was gonna do it too.
We're holding hands. God, this is so lame. Dave has a lot of really cursed expressions. Also,
He
it is very
does.
obvious. It is very obvious that multiple people did the sprites for this game.
It is. It is.
But he does it, and when he clasps John and Rose's hands, he shifts around and blushes faintly in a manner that suggests he doesn't really think it's so lame. In fact, he may think it's the opposite of lame. He may think it's rad. Well, I hope that's not the expression he's making, because again, that expression is very cursed.
I mean, he's holding John's head. So, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna say this. Okay, like, do you mind me spoiling one of the bad endings we did not get in Dave's Root?
Sure.
So, in one of the bad endings we did not get in Dave's Root, like, there's some Dave John shit, like, implied. I'm just pointing that out there. It was one of the bad endings, but, like, there's some of that implied. Like...
You're making that expression worse. I'm just going to tell you that now.
I know, I'm intending to make that expression worse. That was the intention. That was the intention of that. It was bold of you to assume that was not the intention. But yeah. Yeah.
And he'd be right. Friendship is the raddest thing of them all. You're full of warm, fuzzy friend feelings as you teleport back to Jade's atrium. Wait, no, that's just the feeling of your body dissolving and reconstructing itself halfway across canon. They're very similar feelings. They are. You head to the base of the staircase where you call out to Jade. Her guests have arrived, you tell her. Jade rushes down the stairs and nearly trips over her skirt. Her expression is tight and anxious, and when she sees your motley crew standing there, she freezes up. Her breath hitches in a half sob.
You really did bring them. They're here. You're all here.
She breaks into a wide grin and sprints forward, launching herself like a missile at her friends. Did John just get hug-tackled to death? That's what it looked like.
He got glomped, yes.
Dave throws himself bodily out of the way, and Rose takes an alarmed step back, leaving John to bear the full brunt of her affection. She crashes into him, and the two of them go spinning around and around as Jade laughs breathlessly. Yup, that's what it looked like.
Yep. Whoa, calm down there, Jade. It's nice to see you, too.
Tears are beating in her eyes as she squeezes him tight, and then pecks his cheek with a soft kiss. Do not ship.
No, we're not gonna go down that at all. Anyway, like, please do not. But please, no. Oh, John, I'm so happy. What?
If you ship it, I will throw a shuriken at you, and it will be a real shuriken of the spiky type.
Well, I mean, I just don't personally ship it. I mean, I don't want to get into shipping here. Let's not get into that kind of shipping, please. But yeah, like, just gonna read this. Oh, John, I'm so happy to see you in person. In waking person, everything. I spent so much time watching you sleep. What?
Reasonable reaction. Jade swings around to look at her other two pals.
Come on, you two. Get over here. We're having a 4x hug combo right now. I did this expression again.
That was cursed. That was extremely cursed.
It was.
Rose and Dave cautiously step forward, and Jade, with John's help, yanks them both into a tight embrace. She smooches them on the cheeks, too. Rose's face lights up with a blush, and Dave nearly goes catatonic when Jade pulls back. She's clutching John's hand and tugging so hard she might pull the damn thing off. She might. Jade is, like, significantly stronger than John. I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah. Come on, everyone. Let's go upstairs. I found a bunch of military-grade sleeping bags and Grandpa's old adventuring gear. I almost said advertising gear. I don't know why I said that. Old adventuring gear, it sets them up in my room. We can play with all my toys and jam out to some music and stay up all night chatting with each other. And oh my god, you're all here. This is really happening.
Jade's next laugh verges on hysterical as she's got tears streaked down her cheeks. Dave looks a little perturbed. Wow, holy shit, it's cool, Jade. No need to get so... like this? Kinda fucks me up seeing you cry. Dave, what the fuck is that pose?
I don't know. I don't know.
Not that I'm trying to make this all about me. I mean, Dave, you are doing a horrible job of comforting her.
Kind of is.
Jade, come here. I shall hold you in my arms. That was the most stilted hug invitation ever.
It was. It was.
Rose walks over to Jade and extends her thumbs and swipes them down Jade's cheeks in a stiff mechanical motion. Then she wraps her arms around Jade in an embrace that could generously be called a hug, but looks more like a precursor to an alien medical examination. John boggles at the display.
None of you whack jobs know how to do this. Oh my god. Come here, Jade. Ah, thank you, John. Now come on, everyone, let's go.
And so the party begins. Tales told, movies watched, and fun had, apparently. So many shenanigans happen. So many. Perhaps someday you will recount them all in detail. But before you know it, the energy in the room has fled alongside the sunlight. Moon and stars cast their pale gaze upon four supine friends, bundled up in sleeping bags and caught midway between slumber and wakefulness. Dave is rambling about some inane bullshit that nobody's paying attention to, and Rose is attempting quite terribly to lecture John and Jade on the modern reinterpretation of Lovecraft's work.
I mean, those both seem pretty on point.
Can I also point out that a lecture on the modern reinterpretation of Lovecraft's work in Homestuck is very meta?
It is. It is very meta.
Because we're talking to Jade the Hound Harley, whose name and it's Rose Robert Blake. I'm mixing up the character with the real person the character is a reference to. And I guess I mean the character is
Also,
a reference
Dave rambling about some inane bullshit nobody's paying attention to.
I assume that's his default, even when there's no one to pay attention or not pay attention.
Probably.
You think it's about time you bowed out. And what are these kids going to do when they want to get off the island that you teleported them to exactly?
I don't know.
It's not that you haven't enjoyed chumming up with these kids, but you'd feel kind of weird sticking around overnight. You can come back later. Besides, you've got places to go and sights to see. There's an entire golden moon out there full of potential friends that you knew nothing about before today. The universe beckons and you are powerless to refuse. Well, technically you can teleport. You give Beck a little nod like, hey, take care of these kids, Beck. Beck doesn't nod back because he's a dog, but you like to think he understands. As you quietly slip down the staircase and out of sight, you spare one last glance at the group and find a sigh escaping your lips. Everything that's happened here feels almost too good to be true. Can it last? Can this brazen wish fulfillment go unpunished? You find that hard to imagine. There's something fate touched about these kids. You can feel it in your bones. Surely as the wind whispers through the trees or the stars dance through space, as surely as the turning clocks will call the sunlight back again, these kids will never be free from the bullshit that hounds them. But right here, right now, they are at peace. They have shared this one perfect moment together, and perhaps in the future there will come more betwixt the chaos. And maybe that's enough.
Yay. What? Whoa. What? What is that persona that Dave drew? I mean, I know he has a cat persona, but like, whoa, hold up.
It's a tiger. That's a tiger.
Like, that looks, I don't know what to say about that. I mean...
Slightly not safe for work?
Oh, okay. Okay then.
Oh. By the way, for people who are wondering what the fuck I was talking about half a minute ago, the name Harley is a reference to Harley Warren from the Statement of Randolph Carter. That's who Grandpa Harley is supposed to be. It's also who Jake is supposed to be. Dirk is a Randolph Carter reference. The Hound is a story by Lovecraft. It involves a carved green jade totem that looks like a dog. Rose, her entire arc through like Act 5 is a reference to the Haunter of the Dark.
Alright, on to Tavros' route.
Sure. All right. Give me 1 second. I will return momentarily. And in fact, I'm just gonna like mute my mic and be right back. But like, I need to be
Alright,
right back.
we will
1
be
sec.
right back, you guys. Alright, we're back. Time to do Tavros' route. Also, can I please voice Tavros? I have the perfect Tavros voice, please. Please let me voice Tavros.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be good at it.
Alright, I guess you can narrate then.
Sure, I've been good at that thus far. I would like to believe.
Yeah, you've been good at it.
You're enjoying a brisk, head-clearing walk in the Alternian moonlight. When the plot comes screaming towards you, literally, you don't even have time for introspection. I feel like there's a meme we could post here about subway safety.
Oh yeah, yeah, that me.
We're gonna have to throw that up on screen later.
The edit with Riska, where it's like,
Yes.
yeah.
You turn your head to see a guy in a wheelchair whizzing down a nearby hill. He's got a phone in one hand, making it difficult for him to control his descent with the other. This is why you don't text in wheelchair.
Yeah.
You quickly rush over in time to see him hit a rock and go flying through the air with an impressive arc. Well, he's dead. This was short. You bring the fallen wheelchair over to him. He stares at you for a second and then pulls himself back into it with a grunt.
Thank you, weird and ugly alien stranger.
Well, this guy's a douche.
Do you like my
settle into-
Tavros voice?
Not bad. Not the best I ever heard, but not bad. Once you settle into the chair, you look over the boy you just helped. He's lanky and scrawny, except for his oversized horns, giving the impression of a boy going through a very awkward puberty. His wheelchair is simple and flimsy, and it looks like it's gone through a lot of wear and tear.
Oh, introductively speaking, I should say that my name is Tavros.
I am very sure that's not a real word.
I might have failed. Wait, did I fail or did Tavros fail at that? I legitimately can't tell.
You pronounced it right. It's just not a real word.
So Tavros failed, not me.
Were we expecting anything else?
That's true.
Tavros, as is now usual for you, the name sounds familiar, even though you're not sure any of your other friends mentioned him by name. You give him a proper greeting and then ask what happened, and he nods toward an old watchtower at the top of the hill. God, this is going to be very, very stupid. Yup.
I was attempting to skill toward the tower to acquire a rare Fidus spawn Go monster. What is named Volpine. It's a ranked Ether Mythic triple rare class, which is one of the rarest of all, at least concerning monsters that can be found in lower blood neighborhoods. But it appears to be tragically out of my reach, no matter how much I believe in my ability to pursue it.
That's not how the word scale is meant to be used. You don't scale towards the tower, you scale the tower. Like climbing it.
Yeah.
Also, why am I not surprised that he's one of those obnoxious people who does irresponsible shit while playing Pokémon Go?
I mean, it seems like something he would do.
You don't know what a Fidus spawn is, but maybe you could help. You've rankled a few monsters in your time. We have.
What?
You know, you could help push him up the hill. Maybe fight some giant horrifying beast. The usual. When did we fight a giant horrifying beast? Was that in Friska's route?
Yeah, you killed Spider-Man, yeah. Wow, I normally am expected to do everything myself, always.
You literally aren't.
No. The only trolls who offer me help are those who live too far away to actually do anything of consequence. Which is fine, I get it, but it's pretty useless to me. Anyway, no.
What?
I don't want your help on account of if I take it, I will be weakening myself and failing to grow as a troll. I will just have to try again and again and get grievously hurt in the process, probably. Don't worry.
I mean, you're not going to fail to grow stronger any harder than you already are.
It's true. That's true.
Tavros begins to wheel backward toward the hill. You know how this story goes. You'll have to spend your entire evening convincing this poor troll boy that it's okay to accept help from others. You launch into a gentle pitch about how help from a friend can...
Oh, well, if you say so, then I accept your help.
Oh, that was easy. You follow Tavros up the hill when he reaches the steepest part, and his wheels begin to lose traction. You step in behind him to give him the little push he needs. The two of you are successful in scaling the hill, and Tavros grins and taps at his phone. Oh, it's a phone game. No real monsters involved. Holy shit, this is new to you.
Yes, Wolvapine is now acquired. Thank you so greatly. Maybe the cartoons for regulars were right all along, and friendship is truly the greatest source of power to exist. Oh my god. And I'm trying to make Tavros' voice sound whiny, and like, I don't know if I'm doing a good job, but like, I just imagine his voice to be that.
Finally, someone who gets you. You ask if he wants a quick ride home, and he tilts his head in confusion.
I already have a ride. Always. I'm sitting in it.
Not like that, you tell him. It's hard to explain. Just trust you on this one.
Okay, let's go.
With that, you grip his chair and focus your energy and zap over to his hive.
Whoa, are you magic?
Yes.
Okay, the amount of fairy poured on his walls. Just like the amount.
I can't clearly see it. Not rezzing that. Hang on. Let me turn my phone sideways so that I can get a bigger screen view. One moment.
Yeah, you should see all the fairy poured on his walls. There's a lot of it.
Still not
Okay,
that
sorry,
high res.
scantily clad fairies.
Is this a thing in canon? The scantily clad fairies on his wall?
Yes, it is. It is.
We'll talk about that in more depth later, I'm sure.
I mean, it makes sense that they would be there, but
Can we also acknowledge that given his thing for fairy porn, it was very considerate of on a certain person's part to indulge him?
that's what I was talking about. That's what I was talking about. Awesome. Do you know any fairies?
No.
Shucks.
No. It's rezzed in. I can now see it. His wall of... It was taking a second to visually load for me, but yes, now I can see. It's also on his computer.
It is.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the one behind his head, she's not wearing much.
No. She's not.
Tavros glances around the room and you follow suit. Your eyes settle on an advertisement for the theatrical run of Cupa Pan. A pinch of special stardust is all it takes to fly. Brought to you by Her Imperious Condescension's 19th favorite theater company. Reserved seating for high bloods. Hecklers will be cold.
I told you it was official. Like, I told you that show's official. Like... Does this mean that the Kaw-Desk has, like, an official show with, like, scantily clad fairies running around on stage? I mean, that sounds like, I don't know. That sounds a lot with something Nita would do, honestly, but...
Well, I mean, consider who the conduct is, and then consider who those scantily clad fairies are. Bearing in mind this is Pupa Pen, who do you think the fairies represent?
Yeah, that's the question. I mean, that's really the question there.
I assume by that you mean not actually much of a question at all.
Yeah, that's what I meant. But yeah.
The rest of the room is rather plain and sparsely decorated. The floor is scattered with messy gaming supplies. Sparsely decorated is not the word I would have used.
Yeah. So, this is my hive. What do you think? Would you characterize this pad as sufficiently cool? No?
No, I would go with trashy.
I mean,
Also, your
I
expression
guess the
is very
fairy posters are
sleazy.
cool, but, like, yeah, I wouldn't call this cool. Also, that Tavros face is cursed.
Yes, it is cursed.
Not as cursed as a Dave, but, like, it's still cursed.
Yeah, very cursed.
Still not as cursed as the Dave one, but yeah.
Nothing is that cursed. You glance at a framed picture of Faye Trickster in booty shorts. Sure. Yeah. This pad is cool as hell.
Excellent. I hoped you would. Your approval is most good to have. I thought you might be uninterested on account of me being boring and kind of sad.
You weren't wrong. Aw, boring and sad kids are your favorite, you tell Tavros. Wait, that sounds terrible. Ignore that. You mean you relish the opportunity to make people less sad?
Like, oh, don't worry then, because I'm definitely sorrowful enough to satisfy. Also, I'm not great at talking either, so we have at least one point of failure in common.
Thanks?
Tavros oh, sorry. You should do it, sorry.
Tavros flashes you a thumbs up and winks.
Oh, okay.
Well, at least he doesn't just straight up flash you. Also, don't wink at me like that ever again.
Yeah, please don't.
He wheels closer to you, and one of his... Oh, God, she really isn't wearing much. I couldn't see before, but, that is a... I wouldn't even call it an outfit. He wheels closer to you, and one of his scattered cards crunches under the treads and gets stuck, necessitating a bit of finagling. You must admit, you're a little surprised by the wheelchair. Your experience on Alternia would suggest their culture is not very kind to the disabled.
Oh, it very isn't. There's a long story behind the fact of me being like this. Kanaya says not to talk about it because it hurts my self-esteem.
Oh, okay. That's fine. You turn your attention to some of his cards. Perhaps he can teach you...
Also, just like a disclaimer, we do not dislike Tavros because he's in a wheelchair. We dislike Tavros because of his personality and, like, the fact that he's a whiny little bitch. It's not because he's in a wheelchair. Like, just like a disclaimer.
Yeah, no.
Like, that is, like,
fine.
just like a disclaimer right now. Like, it's because of his personality. Like, even when he gets legs, he is still a very, like, dislikable character. Like, it does not make him more likable.
I mean, there's an argument to be made it makes him less likable on the basis that, like, what the fuck did he think was going to happen attacking the strongest player in his session when he's probably the weakest?
Yeah.
How did he put that going down?
I don't think it's just like he had a big target right on his chest.
Hypothesis? he secretly actually gets off on Vriska beating the shit out of him and intentionally antagonized her to get her to do that.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me, actually. Well, if you insist, I will reveal to you my tragic backstory. I used to be more of a hardcore gamer. Were you really, though?
No.
Who would do the extreme roleplays. And I had a friend, or I thought she was my friend, who I did flarp with.
Oh, you're familiar with Flarp. You're a Spruce Lee. Oh, what the shit?
It's a class in flarp. Like, it's from Vriska's root.
Come to think of it, you've got a great Flarp friend who he might love to meet.
Well, I don't play anymore. Because this old friend of mine did a bad thing to me, resulting in a chain of revenge that was very tragical.
That's not a real word.
It's not. Like, it's not. Essentially, the story is that I was thrown off a cliff. I don't know how to pronounce that. Psychically? I don't know.
Psychically?
I don't know,
I'm
I
pretty sure
guess.
that's not how you actually spell the word psychically.
I don't know, like, what that word is supposed to be. I'm just guessing. And became heavily injured, which resulted in my legs not working.
Oh god, that sounds terrible.
The culprit continues to hassle me sometimes in ways which are supposedly remorseful, but mostly continue to make me feel bad. For instance, trying to make me learn how to climb stairs, or fight better, or telling me I'm useless and awful because I can't.
I mean,
he probably shouldn't climb stairs, but, like, bro, you can learn how to fight better. You really can, even if you're in a wheelchair. I don't know. Like, he could probably learn how to fight better. Like, he probably could. I don't know. Like,
I mean, he's using a lance. He could probably use a jousting lance in a wheelchair.
Like, I think he could get better at fighting, like, potentially.
Also, there's gotta be some way he can manage stairs. I don't think Alternia is ramp accessible.
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate, but, like, he should at least learn how to fight better. Come on. Although, she also sent me this 4-wheel device which helps me to not be cold. So, that's nice, I guess. Although maybe she would have done it if Kanaya didn't say so. I don't know, she's hard to understand. Sometimes very nice, and other times extremely not nice, and I can't figure out how she truly feels about me.
You know, for all the posters of fairy girls on your wall, you haven't spent much time studying them psychologically. Maybe a little bit less anatomical examination, maybe a little bit more psychoanalysis.
Yeah.
Wow, this girl Tavros is talking about seems like a real piece of work. You sure are glad none of your friends are anything like that.
Yeah, but maybe it's best to not think about her, actually. Kanaya was right. Why don't I teach you how to play... You got this one. You got this one.
That's true. I can do this voice better than you. Tavros.
Tavros.
Freezes up instinctively.
Oh no, that's her. The one who injured me.
Oh no. Your spine ice is over. You recognize that telltale exaggerated call. But how can this be? How could your dear, sweet, precious friend Vriska have done such a horrible thing to, okay, yeah, no, this tracks. Maybe she did one thing wrong. But why? This isn't like the other kids she killed. You know, Vriska is violent and volatile. She had to be to survive, but harass Tavros after the fact instead of just... But to harass Tavros after the fact instead of just feeding him to her Lucis, it doesn't make sense. You feel sick to your stomach. Hey, Tavros, haven't you seen... You haven't been answering my messages. We need to talk. Vriska, come here in person.
Yes.
Her voice comes from outside the window as it moves around the perimeter of the house. You glance at Tavros' stricken face as you hear the sound of keys jingling in a lock. Fuck, she has the keys to his hive? Of course she does. You think
Yeah.
she doesn't know how to steal shit?
Yeah.
I mean, this kid isn't stupid. You don't think she can pickpocket? Okay, it bothers me that she has no nose.
Yeah.
Tavros groans and leans back in his chair. Vriska barges into his respite block and then freezes up.
Also, I stand corrected. There will be Vriska after all, so... Enjoy your brief, Vriska.
Oh. Hey. Hey, you say with an awkward wave. Vriska seems uncomfortable. I didn't know you knew this, dork. It's a friendship in progress. Tavros has told you some things about their past together. Of course he has. Well, Vriska looks so sad there. Okay, listen. I know it sounds bad, because it is, and I get that, okay? Way back when...
It was less than a sweep ago.
I was a part of a FLARP campaign that went off the rails, and Tavros ended up getting thrown off a cliff. It was basically my fault. But that's all in the past now. Things are better now. I hooked up Tavros with the sweet wheelchair and everything.
It's not that sweet.
Shut up, Tavros. I'm not talking about how terrible I feel about hurting you. Or I'm talking about how terrible I feel about hurting you. Yeah, that sounds like Vriska. Tavros cringes, and you try to intercede on his behalf. Why is Vriska here? Oh, right. I'm here to extend an olive branch. Very magnanimously so, if you ask me. Terezi and I are getting the band back together. Not for FLARP, obviously. That ship has sailed. But we're going to whip this planet into shape, and we need all the help we can get. You spend enough time moping around uselessly. It's time for some action. Yeah. You're in, right?
I know. What do you mean, no? Like, okay.
See, you're kind of validating. What do you mean, no?
I fucking called it. Like, I didn't remember that line. It's like I fucking.
See, Tavros, you're validating Vriska's opinions on you. You do recognize this, right?
I mean, I don't really want to do anything exciting or dangerous like that. And especially because you're going to be involved, I don't think it would be very good for me to also be.
Oh, come on. Things are totally square between us, Tavros. We all got hurt. She's literally missing an arm and an eye right now. Besides, I'm just trying to help you live up your potential. You could be somebody. You could finally start living up to your legacy.
I don't want to be somebody, at least not your kind of somebody.
Tough luck, Toreador. None of us get that choice. If nothing changes by the time your rites of maturation roll around, you're screwed. The drones will cull you in an instant.
She's fucking right. She's actually right. I mean...
She is right. Also, Tavros,
right.
if you keep being this lame, she's going to throw you off a cliff again.
Also, like, if he wants things to change and get better, like, shouldn't he help, like, make things better? I don't know, this is, like, he should legitimately, like, try to help make things better if he wants things to get better. I mean...
Can I point something out, by the way? Because this is something that's really easy to miss.
Yeah?
Every time Vriska kills somebody that she knows, it's always symbolic. So, for example, she breaks his back so that he can never forget that he was literally spineless.
Yeah?
When Aradia tries to punish her for that, who does she have hurt Aradia? Her mate Sprit. Why? Because she felt hurt and disappointed by Tavros. She wanted to see Tavros be cool because she has a crush on him, and he disappointed her. She then puts Aradia in a more extreme version of that. Now, she went too far with the Aradia thing and the Tavros thing, and she acknowledges this herself, like, pretty openly. Terezi then injures her, which, by the way, is a lot worse. Like, that's not just injuring her, that's leaving her to be killed by her Lucid. So then Vriska sets Terezi up to be killed by her Lucis to see how it feels.
Yeah?
Oh, and also she stabs Tavros through the heart, which is symbolism that I really hope I don't need to explain to
it's
people.
obvious. But yeah.
Also, there's that one scene where Vriska's literally begging him to kill her and end the pain.
Oh yeah, that was fucking brutal. And also Tavros. This is one of the reasons why I don't like Tavros. Is because he just fucking leaves her to die. Like, he literally just leaves her to die. Like, that was fucked up. That's arguably more fucked up than anything Vriska has done. I'm not gonna lie. That's arguably more fucked up.
Vriska hurt people impulsively and out of self-defense. That wasn't an impulse and it wasn't self-defense.
No, he just, like, should not have done that. That was horrible.
Yeah, that's why I don't like Tavros. I don't dislike him for being in a wheelchair. In fact, at first he seemed actually really cool. It's like, oh, he's a kid in a wheelchair who has big ambitions and doesn't let the wheelchair get him down. No, he's actually a whiny loser. That's
my problem with him, is that he's just like a whiny loser, and I don't... Also, people might get up on arms at me about, oh, well, you like Jake, but you don't like Tavros. But, like, Jake actually does things. Tavros does not. And that's just like...
Well, I would criticize Jake
I mean, he
for
only
often
does something at, like, the very end of the comic, and it's just like, that's about it.
It made no sense, also. That was a...
Yeah, I was a little bit confused by that. Still not quite sure how that happened, but... I feel like Jake actually... Also, Jake tries, is the other thing. He actually tries. I don't feel like Tavros tries. Like, Jake actually tries, and Tavros does not. Also, Tavros, like, is weird and, like, kind of white knights people in a very not great way.
Oh,
I don't like that
yeah,
either.
the white knighting on Jade shit that she did not need.
I mean, he also white knights with Jake, too. Don't forget about that. And Jake literally tells him to stop. Like, yeah, honestly, killing Grandpa Harley was the best thing he ever did. But...
Which is really more of a condemnation of Grandpa Harley than kudos to Tavros.
Yeah, I agree with that. But yeah, like, I don't know, I just don't really like Tavros. He's honestly my least favorite troll. I can no longer say he's my least favorite character in Homestuck, because there is one person in Homestuck Squared that, like, did actually beat him out, but, like, he's my least favorite character, like, the original comic.
Harry Anderson?
Yeah, Harry Anderson, like, is worse, but, like, I also really don't like Tavros. Like, I dislike Harry Anderson for an entirely separate set of reasons, but I'm not gonna, like, go on that right now, because it will take all night. I'm not gonna go off on that right now. Yeah, let's keep going.
Vriska turns to you, her eyes wide, her fist trembling, her frustrated glare barely conceals the desperation beneath. I mean, you agree with me, right? Man, did that sprite not live up to what it needed to. Tavros needs to shape up. He needs us. It's time we put the past behind us and moved on. Not Vriska voicing as well as I should. I'm just trying to help him. It's annoying because I know in my head what she should sound like. I've heard this voice. I've spent hours listening to this voice wash over me when I should probably have been paying more attention to math.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder which one we should pick. Do I even need to? Do I need to ask you which one you're gonna pick? Like,
and I was going to say we should see the route for Tavros and see what happens. Let's see what happens if we take Tavros' side and then come back and do the right thing. Because I'm just curious.
Okay.
Let's get the bad ending first.
Yeah.
Don't take a side, just get Vriska to kill us. Like, there's no possible way that works out well for anyone. And also, Vriska probably murders us, and if she doesn't, she definitely hates us. And I can't deal with that. But
okay,
let's see what happens if we side with Tavros. I'm not going to enjoy it, but...
Yeah. No, it's a sad Vriska face.
And I'm dying. You're gonna need to pick this up, because I'm busy dying.
Because it's sad Vriska face?
Yes.
You take a step closer to Tavros and Vriska visibly deflates. No, sad.
Come on, sweet bro. Wait,
yeah, I named my character that.
I thought we were Slappy, the teleporting mailman.
We'd have to go back to Vriska's route and change it, but...
You can't seriously be on his side.
You can be and you are. You think you understand now. You see how Vriska took her suffering and bitterness and passed it along. You see how under really beastly tutelage she learned to sink her fangs into her prey and tell herself she's doing it for her own good. These two, you see a microcosm of Alternia, of hurt kids hurting kids, until finally the buck stops at the kindest or weakest among them. So no matter how much sympathy you have for her, you can't sit idly and let Vriska continue the cycle of hurt. You tell Vriska to look at Tavros, really look at him, and ask herself if her help has done anything for him. This is the kind of suffering that she and Terezi want to prevent. Right now, the best thing she could do for Tavros is to leave him alone.
I disagree.
Yeah, I heavily disagree.
Leave him alone? You don't get it. None of you do. If I leave him alone, he's toast. And not the kind of toast that she eats in me.
Yeah,
either.
not the Vriska toast.
Seriously, have you not figured that out by now? You've seen what this planet is like. You think we can just flip a switch and fix everything over day? I guess it would be overnight for them.
Yeah.
He's worthless. He's a worthless loser living in a world that hates losers. And if that doesn't change, he's going to die a sad, pathetic death.
She's right. She's absolutely fucking right. She's right.
And you and Kanaya and everyone else, you're just enabling him. When he croaks, it's going to be on your head, not mine. So if you'd rather hang out with Tavros in his make-believe fairyland, be my guest. But some of us are still going to be living here in the real world. And I'm dying again.
It's another sad Vriska. You and Vriska spent a while staring at one another. All you can muster is a look of pity, which only seems to increase her further. Her face scrunches up and then goes steely and flat. Her voice is icily calm.
It's actually incensed her further.
Oh.
You two have your fun. I'm out.
Vriska slams you can go back to it.
I was going to say, by the way, when Vriska gets all tensed up and stressed like that, you have to rub her shoulders so she'll relax again.
Obviously.
Vriska slams the door shut as she leaves. Tavros exhales a long sigh of relief.
Also, can I make fun of you for your Vriska first in this?
Only if you also make fun of Andrew Hussey.
That's true. I also need to call out Andrew Hussey for that.
Also, I should point out if Vriska is based on the real person who looked, talked, dressed, and acted like her, then Well, it has implications. Anyway, Hussy
Okay, well-
thirsts over Vriska at least as hard as I do.
Yeah. Vriska lives. Do you want me to read this, or do you want to read it?
I'll pick up in a second.
Alright. Vriska slams the door shut as she leaves. Tavros exhales alongside relief. Well, that went pretty well for an encounter with Vriska, all things considered. I only feel somewhat terrible about who I am. You should feel more terrible.
We were on the same wavelength, Eric. Like, you should feel worse.
Yeah. Slowly, gently. Wait, what? Keep going.
I can't. I'm sorry. I apologize, but I cannot read this particular piece of narration.
Alright, I'll do it. I'll take the bullet. I'll do it. Slowly, gently, you place a comforting hand on Tavros' shoulder, tell him that he deserves better than this. It's not his fault. Vriska is difficult. Yeah, Kanaya says that too. What?
I can't even intrinsically disagree with the statement Vriska is difficult.
Yeah. I sometimes almost believe her when she does.
The room is silent except for a faint wriggling noise coming from some of the balls on Tavros' floor. You don't know what else to say. I would just push him out of a window.
The window. Would you enjoy playing some Fighter Spawn with me, perhaps? As a matter of distraction?
Oh, fuck yes, you tell him. Let's spawn some Viduses. Yeah. Your FLARP experience inured you to Alternian game design, so you're only mildly nauseated when Tavros shows you the physical version of how the physical version of Fidu spawn works. Oh, I would also like to point out that Tavros ruined Vriska's teddy bear completely gratuitously.
Yeah?
This is a thing that canonically happens.
Yeah?
I would say now what's Vriska supposed to hug, but there is an answer to that.
Yeah?
For anyone in the audience who maybe has had a brainectomy recently, I mean Terezi.
Yeah?
Chitinous purple critters explode from gooey orbs and infect plushies before bursting out in the form of a large monsters with more limbs than you're comfortable with. I'm not uncomfortable with them.
Yeah?
Also, you have a handful of cards which boost their attributes or allow you to interfere with your opponent's monsters. There's a lot to keep track of here. Before too long, the room is full of chittering purple monstrosities and queasy-looking host plushies on the verge of birthing even more abominations. You are so lost. You know, they don't actually say gotta hatch them all. For safety, you should only hatch one or two at a time. But you think you're winning. Your creatures appear to be doing a better job of preying on his host plushies and spawning more of themselves. I'm going to go very badly.
Yeah.
There's no way this game is a good idea. You've got a meter in the corner that keeps going up while his goes down. That's good, right? You think it's good, at least where victory is concerned. But you are more concerned with the dejected look on Tavros' face. He doesn't seem to be giving the game his all. You ask him if he's doing okay.
No.
Oh, okay. He just came out and said it.
My thought has been simied, I think, by my thoughts about Vriska.
It's actually pronounced stymied.
Okay. I mean,
in this case, it's well, also, Tavros would say it wrong because
Okay.
He wheels himself over to the window and looks disappointedly out. Yeet!
I used to like Vriska a lot, and admire her for many qualities that were good, such as being very confident or having skill at games. But now I just hate her. Or feel like I should hate her, but instead do not feel those feelings. In their place, I feel very conflicted and bad about myself, and wonder if there's something wrong that I can't feel as angry as I should, or make myself become strong enough to talk to her properly about my feelings. It's just a big mess.
That was actually just sad.
Yeah.
And I would feel bad for him if I didn't know him more than this. You glance again at the posters lining Tavros' walls. Brightly fairy girls with confident smiles, long messy hair, and blue color schemes. The resemblance to Vriska is uncanny, but superficial. She's never going to be like the girl from his posters. That's just not who Vriska is.
Yeah, it's
Well,
not. Well,
I mean, she's confident and blue, and she does have that mischievous grin to her, but she's also dangerous, and she has a temper, and you have to be a little careful because she's very defensive.
yeah. Are you gonna read?
But for... Nope, you take that one.
Okay. But for a sad, hurt boy he looks to grieve, she must seem so painfully close.
This is a problem too big for you to untangle right now. You need to redirect Tavros' thoughts. You close your eyes and ask your intuition, what should you do?
What should I do? I know the right answer to this, but, like... Do you want me to
I
just
want
pick...
to see what happens if you do the best for Tavros, because I seem to recall that it
Alright.
validates my position.
I know the right answer, then, so...
From the darkness, you reach into your muddled memories and catch a glint of cold iron. When you open your eyes, Chupapan stares back at you. He would have you believe that faith is all it takes to fly, but you think Tavros could use something a little more material. You put a gentle hand on his shoulder and ask him what you can do to help him spread his wings. His metaphorical wings, that is. It's not like he could ever sprout real ones. The very thought is absurd. Tavros sighs.
I just wish I could live more independently, I guess. To take charge of my life and become less under Vriska's thumb.
He does not wish to be less under Vriska's thumb. That is not what he wishes, and never believe him when he says so.
Yeah.
And by the way, if people think I'm and by the way, before people give me shit about this, every time he always goes back to being under Vriska's thumb, completely of his own free will. He does not
he
want
really
to be out from under
does.
his thumb.
Alright, I'm gonna take this one because I have a feeling I'm gonna need to take this one. You think Tavros could use some better friends? Some real friends? I do have some. Nepeta is very kind to me often. Gamzee and I like to throw down sick rhymes, and Kanaya tries to help with Vriska. Okay, question. Who is worse at rapping, Dave or Tavros? Question. Like, this is a serious question. Who do you think is worse at rapping?
Tavros. Very much Tavros.
Probably Tavros, but, like, they're both pretty bad. There's not a lot they can do when we live far away. And as nice as my Lucis is, he is unable to help me with all my issues due to his small size limiting him to only moving and carrying small objects to me when I require them. The simple fact is that I didn't build my hive with the expectation of one day using a four-wheeled device to navigate it.
Can Tavros move to a better hive? Could you help him with that?
No. As a bronze, the stipend I receive is not enough to cover such things. Even this four-wheeled device, which is highly basic compared to some high-blood models, would have cost me over a wife's worth of savings. Few changes are available to me, economically speaking, especially if I do not want to alert the drones to my unsuitedness for control expectations.
You see, if money is the issue, that's not something you can help with, at least not directly. You know, Can we acknowledge that as god-awful as Alternia is, they essentially have, admittedly, in their, bigoted, blood past-oriented way, a UBI, apparently, at least for those not of age yet. They acknowledge that supporting the livelihood of the young is a necessity, and we don't. What the fuck is wrong with us?
Yeah, our society is literally worse that way than Alternia is. That's apparently a thing.
I'm sorry, I got political, but also, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, apparently. Apparently.
But you might know others who can. You tell Tavros that you're going to step out for a moment to fetch a mutual friend. He seems briefly surprised when you return with Kanaya. You guess you don't blame him. This strikes you as a pretty rare pairing, conversationally speaking.
Oh, Kanaya. It's nice to see you in person unexpectedly. Wow, my hive is terrible looking. Sorry, but hi. You look nice.
Yes,
do you want to do it, or should I?
Let me hear your Kanaya voice.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I'm not any worse than you. I'll take Kanaya. You're doing Tavros, so it seems only fair.
Okay, yeah, I do. My Tavros voice is really whiny, so.
Also, I can only imagine what Kanaya thinks of the fairy girls on the wall.
Yeah, I can only imagine that.
How are you faring? Has my advice regarding the construction of an imaginary friend helped aid your self-esteem? Kanaya, you give terrible advice. For the record, everybody, Kanaya is actually really lousy at Moira Legion. She only ever even attempts it with people she has flushed feelings for and doesn't realize it, by the way.
Pretty much.
Just a point of record.
Yeah. Well, I haven't really got to try it yet, so no, it hasn't, I guess.
Kanaya suppresses a sigh. Kanaya, there are better things you could be doing with your time. Okay. Well, let's get directly to business.
That Kanaya face. That's a mood.
That's kind of the face that Tavros always makes me want to make. I've brought some materials with which to renovate your hive. Why would renovating his hive having Equius replace his leg? Please advise us as to how to best redesign the place to suit your needs. Tavros' eyes water up and he sniffs, leaning forward in his chair. What happens if you help him fly, by the way? Do we actually, drop him to his death or something? Because I might have wanted to see that.
No, you go to Prospect, it, doesn't work, basically. That's really happens. It's not anything super interesting. It's not really worth doing over. Really? You would do that for me? Despite it taking a large portion of time and effort and presumably money as well?
It doesn't. I don't really spend my stipend on much besides fabric. And I intend to twist Vriska's arm until she offers a portion of her flarping treasures to foot the bill, too. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
And of course I do it for you. Any less would be a rejection of my helpful sensibility. Kanaya says it with a neutral tone and a straight face, and if there's nothing remarkable about it, as if there's nothing remarkable about it, but Tavros breaks into a grin.
Wow, thanks. Okay, give me some time to develop ideas on how to properly jack this hive up and deliver the most utterly dope and pimped up changes. Oh, God.
I really don't want to give Tavros the time to develop ideas about how to jack things. I'm sorry.
This is going to be so great. I mean, I will say, I guess he does deserve a better house. Probably it's more Wiltshire equipped. I will say that. Not because I like Tavros, but because I don't know, he's kind of does.
You give Tavros the requested time and then begin the work in earnest. You weren't sure what to expect, but the construction process proved smoother than anticipated. Kanaya brings a set of alien devices which he claims to have borrowed from a sea-dwelling friend of hers. One converts raw materials into a strange substance that reminds you of fruit gushers. Kanaya fells trees with her chainsaws and feeds them into the machine, and before long you have a trove of the gusher thing. The other device expands the gushers to modify buildings. It has a holographic click and drag interface, much like the Sims played in real life. You find this construction software to be incredibly handy, and also eerily familiar, but you find everything eerily familiar these days. It is very convenient. Home construction has been an important part of troll culture for as long as history remembers. Most do not know why, although to me the reason is obvious. Preparation for the game which we will now no longer be playing due to outside interference. Wait, she knows about that? Yes. I figured out what was going on a day or two after you visited me, but I thought it prudent not to get particularly dramatic about it all. That was very thoughtful of her. Yeah. I try. Kanaya finishes feeding logs into the first device and begins to manipulate Tavros' hive with the other. Together you are a clockwork team. Tavros provides directions, Kanaya implements them with her stellar sense of design, and you provide moral support by standing around looking cute.
Okay, yes. Nudge that shelf over to the left. Yeah, like that. Wait, actually, right. Further. Okay, no, go back. A bit more. That's almost good. Now make it a little tad higher. Yes, no lower. There, right there, and Kanaya's face. Yes, perfect, I think. Okay, actually, you could go back to where it first was.
To be fair, this is always what home redecorating looks like.
It kind of is, yeah. It kind of is.
In the end, it takes until the next day to finish construction, which is actually a great time. You were expecting to have to zap forward once or twice for the sake of narrative brevity, but with the Alternarian build tools, Tavros' hive is swiftly renovated. It's far more spacious than it once was, with ramps and rails aplenty under Tavros' guidance. You widened hallways, lowered counters, revamped bathrooms. It's like a brand new house. You don't have a ribbon to cut in celebration, so Tavros summons some bizarre phytospawn creatures to shoot confetti all around the entrance to the hive. It's all gross and sticky, and you hate every second of it, but he's having fun. After that, Tavros spends a while just exploring the hive. He wheels himself through each block, awed by the ease with which he can navigate the space. By the time he returns to his respite block, his grin is radiant. You take it he likes the new place. You know, if it was this easy to renovate, why didn't Friska fix her hive? She hates her hive, and she has the money.
Oh, yes. This pad is now genuinely frigid. Frigid? I don't know.
Frigid. Yes, that is how you pronounce that word.
Okay.
But also, his attempts at being cool and hip are actually
annoying.
worse than Dave.
Like, yeah, Dave is at least kind of, I don't know, like, Dave is, like, entertaining about it. I don't know. Like, as much as I like to harp on Dave, he's actually a pretty entertaining, good character. Like, I don't know if I like him as a person, but, like, he's an entertaining, good character at the very least. Oh, actually, I don't know. Like, I have conflicted feelings about Dave that I could get into. That would be an entirely different video. It makes me. I mean, like, I know, like, Dave Sprite is, like, my favorite character in the entire comic, but, like, it's, like, the whole Dave thing, like, it could be its own video. It makes me feel more confident. Like, the world is the envelope jewel container.
5 elves.
I'm sorry. Like, I could say to Vriska, fuck you. I won't do what you tell me, bitch. Okay.
That expression is all Kanaya's response to that.
Yeah. Okay, I won't say that probably, but I could. Actually, maybe I will say that. Oh, I got Kanaya's face. Yeah, that's my reaction. As well as plenty of other deliriously rude things which I have long avoided saying.
Okay, that's probably enough, you tell him. Kanaya is staring icily at him, but he doesn't seem to notice. You suggest that it's a good time to settle down. The sun's going to be rising pretty soon.
Right. Well, we still have some moonlight. Would you like to stay for a while, Kanaya, and play some games with us?
Oh, no, that's quite all right. I'm afraid I have duties to attend to at home. I left a dress in the oven.
Oh, okay.
Wow, he actually managed to annoy Kanaya.
He did. He actually did. He did. Oh my god.
Kanaya blinks and carefully maintains her poise. It's made out of clay, you see. I'm getting experimental.
Oh, that makes sense. Does it really, Tavros?
Tavros, you are among all the other things you are an idiot.
Yeah.
Well, goodbye. She smiles at Tavros and shoots you a pointed glance. You take it as your cue to place a hand on her shoulder, concentrate on her hive, and send her back in a flash of light. Once she's gone, Tavros wheels up to you and nudges you in the hip.
So, regarding Kanaya, this could perhaps be me misreading the situation, but when I reach deep inside of me and tap into the marvelous power of the self-esteems, it tells me that I'm very right and smart. Are you sure about that?
Just believe that Kanaya had a dress made of clay. You,
No, the fact that he said I am very right and smart. No, you're not, buddy. I'm sorry. Did you see the way she was smiling at me, Tavros? No, but no. Please no, please no. All this in a way to suggest a Morris, including Tavros. No.
amorous. It's pronounced amorous. Also,
What?
that face is getting more cursed every time I see it.
Oh god. Also, like, why Tavros? Why? This is why I don't like Tavros. Like, right here, this is why I don't like Tavros.
Yeah, no one can ever be next to him without him trying to hit on them. This is the kind of person this is the kind of person he is. He's not only a self-pitying little shit, he's a self-pitying little shit who, if anyone else pities him, he then tries to get with them.
Pretty much.
Tavros, I'm going to push you out of the window. Hashtag Vriska did nothing wrong.
Do you want to read
Yes,
this
I'm pulling
cursed thing, or should I?
I'll take it. You will owe me, but I will take it. He waggles his eyebrows furiously in your direction. Oh, geez. You tell Tavros, that's just, what friendship looks like. She's not his type. Trust me, you say.
Right. But oh well. I think there's a saying about this sea has many fish in it. Now that I'm feeling better, I think perhaps I will one day go fishing for a quadra or two. Or you could not. You could just not.
Well, I mean,
Please.
the sea does have many fish in it, and one of those fish is Eridan.
Actually, that's true. New ship. New ship, you guys. New ship. I don't... Actually, yeah, I think they would kind of deserve each other. Actually, yeah, new ship.
They can be together. Cesteri can also be with him. I also ship him with Cesteri because she actually would appreciate his self-pitying bullshit. And so he can just be with the Sea Dwellers.
Yeah. Well,
And,
this is like...
Vriska can find better people to hate than Eridan.
Yeah? Are you gonna read it?
Well, it's a start. It's gonna take time for this kid to figure out what genuine self-esteem is like. But just like the Prospecian clouds part to reveal a brilliant sky in blue, you think Tavros is on the verge of seeing the sun. If he says the things he wants to see to Vriska, he will definitely be seeing the sun. The moon, this metaphor would work better on Earth. No, I think we were right. I think he's very much on the verge of seeing the sun.
Yeah!
Tavros can be more than he is. And he doesn't need to change to do it.
Yes, he does! Okay. Oh my god, he does!
Yes, he does. So, the part about he can be more than he is probably true. The part about he doesn't need to change to do it is definitely wrong.
Yeah, it is.
When he offers him a smile, there's a spark of compassion behind it. I don't think that's compassion. That tells you he's already worth the world. No. All he ever needed was someone to believe in him. Objectively, that is not the case because Vriska believed in him or she wouldn't have wasted the time.
Yeah.
She'd have just killed him. If she didn't believe in him, he would already be dead and fed to a giant spider monster.
Yeah.
That is what would have become of him.
Yeah.
Also, Aradia believed in him.
Yeah.
Also, and money. He also needed money.
So, would you like to perhaps celebratorily play a round or two of Finest Spawn with me? I am feeling much more prepared to enjoy a game, and perhaps think that this time I will proceed to crush you with my incredible might as a Finest Spawn breeder. Bruh, that's so fucking cursed! Oh my god! Oh, no! Oh, that's fucking cursed! That's so cursed. Oh. Except I mean that in a nice way, like, as a friendly challenge. If you'll accept.
The word friend in that sentence was all you needed to hear.
It wasn't all I needed to hear, it's all I wanted to hear. Okay. Well, that was a good
I feel like we may have gotten the bad ending here.
I mean...
I don't think that was a good ending.
Should we get the other ending?
Let's see. Let's see what happens in the other ending.
Does the true good ending?
Side with Vriska, because you can't resist. You can't resist her force of personality. When Vriska speaks, it just sounds right. That's because it usually is. So, Vriska is one of the characters in Homestuck who is very rarely wrong. She sometimes does the wrong thing, but her actual assessment of the situation is usually correct.
Yeah.
You tell Tavros that he should accept Vriska's offer. Objectively, he should. Hell yeah! See, Tavros? Hey, buddy. My buddy here agrees. Let bygones be bygones. Tavros shrinks into his chair, small and sad. The two of you just stare at him as the awkward silence swirls like mist around you. Vriska clenches her fist and steps forward, but you quickly put a hand on her shoulder and she pauses. Ugh. Being around here is depressing, and someone doesn't want my help anyway. Hang on, I need to drink. My throat's a bit dry. Unironically, from all the voice acting.
You're a little bit. You could say that you're kind of thirsty right now, huh? Definitely for the voice acting. Nothing else.
Voice acting is hard on the throat.
It is actually. It legitimately is. Yeah. Mine's actually hurting too.
Are you having trouble resisting the force of Vriska's personality?
Yeah, yeah. Should I click it? You good? I'm gonna click it.
Yeah. Whatever. Come on, sweet bro. I've had enough bull for one night. Let's chill out somewhere less boring. Like, I don't know, an arcade maybe? A movie theater? What do people without a Lucis to take care of even do? You suggest to Vriska that you can find out together. He beams.
Okay, bye, I guess.
Tavros seems conflicted, as though he can't decide whether to be relieved that Vriska is leaving or upset that you're abandoning him. You don't really care, though. You're going to an arcade.
It doesn't even seem like a bad ending.
What?
It doesn't even seem like a bad ending. Like, this is a good ending. This is a good ending.
I mean, we could make Vriska happy, or we can have Tavros be weird and creepy at us. Which of those do you think is a good ending? Also, which do you think Andrew Hussey would think is the good ending?
Probably this one. Probably. Yep.
See, this is the canonical good ending. So we
got
the good ending. I have to agree with
you there. I have to agree with you. Alright, do you want to do a Radia's route or save it for, like, another night? I'm getting kind of tired.
How long is it? Because if it's short, we might as well...
It's not very short. It's, like, sort of medium length. It's not super long, but... I don't know. Like, how are you feeling?
I mean, I could put... Well, so here's the thing. I could push through it, but I, unlike you, have the option of, like, I don't have shit to do in the morning, whereas you might.
Yeah, I think it's probably better to, like, end it, because it's late, and I have to I have other technical things to do after this, so, like, tonight, so...
Oh, right, yeah, there's uploading and shit, and it's already 3:30, so actually, probably we do a Radia another night, but we got the good ending. We made Vriska happy and hung out in an arcade.
Yeah, that was good.
I guess she plays arcade games when she's not... You know, she'd probably flarp even if she didn't have a Lucis.
I'm going to go on my thing about, like, Dave, and, like... I like... Okay, like, Dave's part is my favorite character, but I don't... Like... normal Dave is different. Like, I don't consider them the same character. I consider them two different characters. And I like Dave's sprite a lot better. I don't dislike normal Dave as much as I like to roast him. I don't dislike him, but I just like Dave's sprite better. Like, he's just a really well-written character, and I just really like him. But yeah. It's like the short version of that, but yeah. Alright, well, I hope everybody has a good night. This is Team Demon Kitty. Please check out our next stream, which is probably going to be on Wednesday. So yeah. Bye.
We'll probably do a Radia and then other things, I guess.
Oh yeah, also Radia and another thing. So yeah.